Brutus Greminger. Oh, I'm sorry. Judas Greminger.
That's so harsh. That's so harsh.
Did you know that Greminger is German for backstabbing betrayal?
No, it's not. It's definitely not. But it's good to be drafting an FFPC main event. Despite Scott's furiosity that I left the company, he still is motivated by wanting to make money. And we cook in these FFPC main event streets. So we're going 3 years in a row. We're going to win one of these. We're going to do, I think, 2 of these, maybe three. So we're going to see how it goes.
That's right. Hey, we were a great team once upon a time on the School of Scott podcast, but we're still a great team in the FFPC streets. Our track record in terms of making it to the championship round is like 90%, which should be impossible.
And I've been living in the middle of the first round here. 3 main events. I did an early one with Dan Williamson at the 6th spot. Then I did an 8 spot myself solo, and now we're back in the 8 hole. We talked about it earlier, though. I think we're pretty locked in. I have 8 players in the queue, and we are not live, so we can talk about it. I think that ultimately it's gonna come down to Amon-Ra St. Brown, Christian McCaffrey, JSN. One of those guys will be there, and you don't really want to reach for any of the running backs sort of below CMC here and talk about it, Scott.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really hoping for CMC. In this format especially, I would have CMC dangerously high. So if he falls to us at the 8, which apparently happens quite a bit, I see it as a big win. You, however, hate the older players.
I don't hate them. I'm going to get a bad reputation. I'm supposed to be like the new hotness, and you like the 30 plus. And I get it. Like CMC anchors us at running back, which we talked about how like the second round.
Here's one thing I'll say is like I've always been an ageist, but with the caveat that the Hall of Fame players always age more gracefully. And like, who is CMC? Who is Derrick Henry? Who is Devontae Adams? Mike Evans? Those are Hall of Fame players. So I actually kind of like the value on those guys this year.
I think it's fine. I mean, I think CMC is fine. I'm not reaching for CMC. Like, if it's a conversation about like, let's take CMC at the 3 spot or the 4 spot over like Chase or Nakua, no chance I'm taking him over Bowers in this format either. I had Ryan Paganetti on my show. He told me he enjoyed it much more than when he was on School of Scott. He made a point of saying that, which I thought was really, really weird.
Wow.
I'm like,
what's his last name? Is it Greminger? Are you guys related? Is he another?
No, but Ryan, obviously a big fan of yours, and came on my pod and he talked about. Did he tell any of the School of Scott audience this one? I kept like trying to like coax more and more fantasy stuff out of him, but he made a point of saying that last year their plan was to get Brock Bowers Wildcat formation snaps too around the goal line. And I nearly fell out of my chair and fainted. So they wanted to get him the all-time target record, the all-time catch record, and they also wanted to use him like some Taysom Hill rushing opportunities, which I don't know. If Brock Bowers gets a couple of rushing scores this year, it's going to be crazy. Gibbs and Bijan go 1-2. No surprise. We're going to probably see Puka Nacua, Jamar Chase go 3-4. It's going to be chalky here unless somebody wants to push Bowers up. So, Scott, if we get CMC at 8, I think we're wide open in round 2. And I think we're still wide open no matter what. But if CMC goes here, we're probably not at a running back at 8.
I was kind of worried about running back and really did want at least 2 running backs by the end of round 3. But did you see Josh Jacobs' ADP? Like, that might be worth building our draft around.
I took Jacobs' last main event, and the people in like the comments never like it, but I'm with you. He's going in round 4, and then you have David Montgomery in round 5. That makes a 0 or Jadarian Price going very late. So that makes a 0 RB approach a lot more attractive to me. I'm perfectly fine pushing running back. I'm never scared of going 0 or hero in these, especially considering it's going to make our team a little more unique. The 8 spot, though, it's the 8 spot. I feel like the teams are already kind of unique because you get this situation where you don't know who's going to go here. You end up with either a running back. Okay, so there you go. Christian McCaffrey goes off the board. So we're probably not going to get Brock Bowers here, but I would be standing on my head. You have 2 really good drafters at the 6 and the 7 spot. My guy Frankie in the 6 spot, and then Steve and Nelson Sousa at the 7 spot. Really good drafters. And then us at the 8 spot.
Nelson and Sopranos?
Yeah, Nelson and Steve, and then sometimes one other fantasy manager who wouldn't want to be exposed here. They're in the 7 spot tonight.
Hey Theo, greatest TV show of all time. What is it?
Sopranos. No doubt. It's not even a question. We exchanged some memes last night, and they were all amazing. Okay, so JSN goes, oh my gosh, just let Brock Bowers fall to us at the 8.
I'm really happy that JSN They're gonna went take here.
Okay, so look, I've taken Amon-Ra St. Brown many times. It's very safe, but I think you talk to. It's really hard to make a downside case for ARSB unless you want to push a running back up here.
I mean, based on what I'm looking at, I think we have to go Amon-Ra here. The running back value later I just spoke to. And then in round 2, you're almost always getting Devon Achane or Kenneth Walker or Chase Brown.
205, you're going to have a running back. But we talked about this earlier. Scott and I had a maybe 30-minute talk on how these scenarios could play out. I think we're very open-minded to different builds, but that the 205, there's going to be a number of appealing running backs, but there's also a chance that Trey McBride falls to the 205. It's happening more and more. The market just sort of is fading him entirely because they're scared of the offense. They're scared of the quarterback. But we talked about this, even if you're completely off of Trey McBride, in a 1.5 point tight end premium, he's just such a good player, especially when you don't have to take him in the first round. 2 straight years with 100+ receptions, the most receptions in a 2-year period in NFL history by a tight end. I don't know. It's really hard to pass him up. We could go running back, though, and I think Achane will absolutely be there. Kenneth Walker, you probably end up having Walker and Achane and have to have that conversation. I'd imagine that you're going to see Genty, Omarion Hampton, Chase Brown, Jonathan Taylor all gone. And then once in a while you get Lamb Lamb falling as well. For Lamb, I know we both like George Pickens a lot, but I think that the George Pickens enthusiasm has sort of pushed CeeDee Lamb down a little bit, where once in a while he goes at the 11, the 12 spot, but then sometimes he might fall to us and we might have a chance at an Amon-Ra Lamb start. So it's going to be interesting.
I don't know that I want Lamb, honestly, even if he falls to me here. I know that's extreme value to you, but
I don't care about Lamb that much. I mean, I have him
really.
I have him ranked about here, but I mean, we talked about this on School of Scott before you guys let me go from fantasy points and fired me. We talked about it a lot where George Pickens, I think, can outscore him this year, and I think you're getting Pickens in round 3 and Lamb you have to take it the 1-2 turn or very early second, and Lamb is probably the better bet, but I bet you Pickens is within 10% of his scoring this year. Even if he doesn't.
Look at Lamb versus McBride. Lamb averaged 14.3 fantasy points per game last year. Trey McBride in tight end premium format, 22.3. That was 3 points better than Jamar Chase. So, yeah, I wouldn't be able to take Lamb over. Even Lamb over Pickens is a conversation, at least for Brett. Brett keeps saying he would rather have Pickens straight up, but maybe that's more an NFL take than a fantasy one.
No, I heard Brett on that one, and I think what's interesting is it was George Pickens, that was his first year with Dak Prescott, and he was able to thrive so well. They're going to have a little more familiarity with one another. So CeeDee Lamb goes at the 12, James Cook, CeeDee Lamb, so that's sort of off the table. We're in great shape here. I'd imagine Chase Brown's probably gone. Are you Chase Brown or Achane if they're head to head with us?
This is one of those things where it's such a tight tier in my rankings. I have it Devon Achane, Chase Brown, Kenneth Walker, but it really just feels like a tie, if I'm being honest.
I keep moving those guys around. I think Hampton might have the highest ceiling of some of these guys in round 2, but probably the biggest downside. Maybe not the biggest downside. The offense is going to print. We're 3 picks away here. if Hampton makes it to the 205, do you want to consider him over those guys, or are you locked in?
I have him behind them personally, but yeah, again, it is a tight tier with all those guys in the mix. I would prefer, I think, Achane or Walker.
I'm fine with that. I think we can go ahead with that one. I have a lot of Hampton right now. I'm going to keep drafting him.
The argument, that's your guy. I'll be honest. I really just don't feel like I have a great read on it. Like I feel like there are a few players like that, but I feel like I could get talked into it one way or the other, where it's like, I mean, Mike McDaniel still strikes me as a committee guy. Like I know that wasn't the case with Achane. He likes Keaton Mitchell a lot. They talk about Vidal wanting him involved, and Harbaugh's kind of a committee guy too. I don't know.
Yeah, I get it. It's just, Hampton could also fall in the end zone 15 times this year in that offense.
Yeah.
And Achane could be really, really efficient and struggle to score touchdowns.
Well, I don't think he leads the touchdowns is the thing. I mean, he leads all running backs in receptions over the last 2 years. He has the most yards per carry of any running back all time since the 1950s. He's really good.
I will throw out Kenneth Walker. Do you want to? We're OTC here, and
yeah,
Achane,
like I said, I have Achane higher. If you really want Walker, I won't fight you too much, but
no, I think we can go Achane. I like having an exposure to an Achane in a main event.
Well, Brett's take is he's 2019 Christian McCaffrey, and Cam Newton is Malik Willis. I know Brett's not a fantasy guy, but
the team behind us is going to pick up Hampton here, I believe. They might take A.J. Brown, though. I know they like A.J. Brown, that drafter. They took Kenneth Walker, actually. So Hampton's going to fall to a really solid range here. So we start out with Amon-Ra St. Brown and Devon Achane. I like the start. I think it sort of opens us up to doing a lot of different things in the third round. Loveland goes off the board, which was expected. I know I heard you in the Master Debater podcast disparaging my guy Colston Loveland, which hurt to hear. But Scott, why can't you be on Luther Burden and Colston Loveland in tight end premium?
I mean, you certainly can be, but I'm just not. In Dynasty, I am. Like we paid a king's ransom for Loveland in our Dynasty, and I still feel great about it. Just in redraft, I think, and especially in this format, I was telling this to you the other day, is like, I've built some juggernaut teams over the years. In 2019, 2021, I had the best non-McCaffrey team. It finished top 15. And all of my best teams take a quantity over quality approach at the tight end position. They don't draft a tight end. And that's also how I like to build. So, I think that's going to work out in our favor that we passed on Loveland. Someone took McBride. I think we're going to load up on Harold Fannin, Sam Laporta, Isaiah Likely, Dallas Goedert, Terrence Ferguson, Greg Dulcich, Pat Freiermuth. And that's really going to work out in our favor, once we look back on it in week 6.
Those guys, there's always somebody around the 5-6 turn at tight end that's appealing, especially of those guys. I'm with you on Fannin. I think he's a little bit beat up right now. He's so good, such a talented player. And, the fact that I really like KC Concepcion, I know you do as well. And I've been drafting a lot of Denzel Boston. I think Boston in like round 16 is a really fun bet to make in all formats. I've been taking them all over the place there. But the fact that it's going to be 2 rookies at wide receiver and the beat reporter is saying that Jerry Jeudy is like well behind those guys, that it makes me think that
Fannin. I haven't seen that.
Yeah, behind? So he says that they're clearly like head and shoulders above the rest of the wide receivers. The 2 rookies are just so much better. So I think with those 2 guys, the 2 rookies being out there a lot, I think it makes Fannin even better. So I think Fannin's fine. So it's one thing to consider is the team 11 took Trey McBride. So that might help us a little bit in terms of teams trying to grab tight ends. I just worry about when we get to the 508, if we don't take a tight end there, then one of that fun tier might not come back to us in the 6th round. And then we're fine. We're in the 7th round with it. But I'm with you. I like Dallas Goedert. I like Isaiah Likely.
I think I had Sam Laporta earmarked, and it looks like there's a 50-50 chance that we get Sam Laporta, which would be He's like one of the most extreme values in this format. His ADP is pick 65, and in round 6, we pick 65.
We're coming up here.
A true 50-50 chance?
Yeah, I've gotten Laporta in the middle of the 6th round a few times. There's people, for every person that I know Jacob Gibbs is very high on him. I'm high on him. Ryan's high on him. I know you are. But there's a bunch of people sort of fading Laporta. We're going to end up with a really, really good player here. I have 5 players in the queue that I'd be very excited to get. I'm just going to throw Tyler Warren's name out here, though. And I'll throw Malik Nabers' name out here, too. I think Nabers is going to go before we pick. I don't feel like we have to take Malik Nabers. I think there's still a little downside risk where maybe there's re-aggravation. Maybe they're cautious with him. But this is a fantastic place to be. Devontae Smith goes. He was in our queue. Chris Olave goes. He was in our queue. So we're going to have a fun conversation.
Yeah, I'm not
here.
a Chris Olave guy.
I like Chris Olave, but it doesn't. Yeah, well, I'll get your thoughts on Chris Olave.
I have him like 10 spots behind Nabers. So
yeah, I mean, I get it. I mean, Nabers upside case, but 308. I want to take Emeka Egbuka if he's there. Nico Collins still on the board. Breece Hall still on the board. I know Breece Hall structurally would be pretty good for us because I know there's going to be a lot of wide receivers you like in the 4th round. Tyler Warren is interesting to me. I took Tyler Warren with Jacob Gibbs at the 401 in a big gorilla this week. We streamed that over at RotoWire YouTube. Scott's coming on my show, and we're also drafting, so we're going to see him twice over at RotoWire pretty soon. That's going to be fun.
That's right.
Malik Nabers goes. So Nico Collins continues to fall.
Malik Nabers, no.
Nabers is off the board.
That's heartbreaking.
We're fine though. We're really fine here.
All right, we could take your boy Emeka Egbuka. If you go off of my rankings,
he's going to be gone. Team 7's going to take him. They take him all the time, I think.
If you go off of my rankings, Josh Jacobs is the next guy. I want him over Breece Hall. There's no suspension risk.
There he goes.
That sucks.
Egbuka goes. So we're looking at, I think they're going to take Nico Collins here. If Nico Collins is there at the 308, I'm not like a Nico Collins guy, but Nico Collins at the 308, Scott, is like a layup value.
Yeah, and if not, T. Higgins is still there.
T. Higgins is still there. T. Higgins is probably going to be there at the 405. I know you like T, but T could be there. Where are you at on Zay?
I mean, I have T. Higgins and Zay Flowers tied basically at wide receiver. Was at 12 in my rankings.
Okay, so
you can talk me into either one.
Nico went. My lean here would be if we take Breece Hall, then we're real.
Breece, I would rather take Josh Jacobs, even if you think it's a reach. So let's take a wide receiver.
Okay, so I think that the move is Zay Flowers if you want a wide receiver.
That's fine.
That's and then, totally but we got 38 seconds. You want to rule out Tyler Warren and the PPR upside at the tight end position here because Tyler Warren is really fun in the 3rd round, and it allows you to attack running back and wide receiver for the next couple rounds.
I'll tell you what, you can make this call.
Zay,
I'm fine either way. We can build around it. We can make it work. But like I said, there is a ton of tight ends I like later.
I think we take. I'm Flowers or Warren. You make the call. I'm split.
All right, let's take Flowers.
Let's take Flowers. Okay. I think it's a real conversation. I love Flowers though. I think the fact that like Jacoby Lane is standing out at camp. We start talking about like target competition for Zay Flowers at the wide receiver position. It's like,
bro, these should have signed Diggs. Like, what do they have? They have some day 3 rookies. They have Mark Andrews, who's probably washed, and nothing else. Like, it's kind of stupid to go into the season with what they have. I think
Zay Flowers could be the PPR NFL leader,
code.
Target share leader in the entire NFL this year. And if Declan Doyle is a little more pass happy than what we've seen in years past, and he has to be. Even if Baltimore is still towards like the very bottom of pass attempts, they're not going to be dead last with Doyle. Doyle's not. I don't think that's his MO.
I was kind of a Flowers hater just because like I thought the outgoing OC was so good for him with all the screens, all the heavy personnel at the highest rate in the league. But this new OC is just like, yeah, we're just gonna throw him the ball every single play. And you look at their depth chart, and it's like, yeah, that's kind of what they have to do.
So we started out with Amon-Ra St. Brown. We get Devon Achane. We take Zay Flowers. Breece Hall continues to fall. Tyler Warren falling. They'll both be gone. I'll load Jacobs in as a discussion. I think that the edge is probably going to be going wide receiver. It's going to be like the wide receiver monsoon.
Well, again, I would have taken Josh Jacobs over Zay Flowers. So if he falls,
okay, that's fine. We could take Josh Jacobs. I took Josh Jacobs in the 4th round, like literally like 8 days ago, and I sat there and I thought about Scadaboo versus Josh Jacobs, and I struggled with it.
I feel like you're like a momentum trader. I feel like you really like guys that everyone is high on right now. You are highest on, and whoever. So for some reason, there's a stink on Josh Jacobs, and I don't get it because
it's because of the off the field stuff. It's because it's the off the field stuff.
Talk to Drew Davenport, who's like the god lawyer of fantasy football. It's 0 to 5% risk he's impacted this year, and it's like, yeah, well, there's Josh Jacobs. Well, that kind of sucks, but
yeah. So Team 11 takes Josh Jacobs.
This isn't going our way, but luckily we're built different.
We're fine, though. I think this is a very dangerous build. I mean, we have Amon-Ra St. Brown, dark horse wide receiver 1.
David Montgomery. Do we want to have that conversation, or do we want to push that to round 5?
I think we push it. I think like Montgomery could be there in the 5th round. I think 4th round it would be really high for him ADP wise. Tyler Warren's still on the board. He's going to be gone by the time we pick. There's no way.
That'd be nice.
Scadaboo, I think if you want to go structural, and how can you not like bump up Scadaboo a little bit with like this Malik Nabers injury optimism? The offense is going to be it's just going to be, there goes Tyler. So T. Higgins, Luther Burden, Cam Scadaboo in our queue. I know you're not on McMillan. I think those are the 3. And then I'll throw Garrett Wilson into consideration where, I mean, how can we hate Garrett Wilson at like the 405? I get the
when T. Higgins is on the board.
That's fine. No,
Terry
I understood.
McLaurin's on the board. Luther Burden's on the board.
I think it's going to come down to Luther Burden, T. Higgins. McMillan goes off the board there. Scadaboo structurally helps us out a lot, but I think the edge is leaning into Higgins or Burden if they're there, and we'll see. If
I love Scadaboo.
I like Scadaboo a lot right now. I mean, he averaged 19 touches a game last year, and they really like him.
You hated him last year. I had to beg you to take him in round 10.
We didn't want to take him every time, and then what happened? He got injured. He got injured. The guy got injured because he's a maniac.
It was a good process pick. We got a lot of good process points on that.
Last year we had a couple of teams that could have been overall winners.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, so Luther Burden goes.
DJ Moore, one of the worst picks on the board.
This is clearly T. Higgins. You like him, I like him, and we can't really go wrong. Okay, so we'll take T. Higgins here. So we get T. Higgins.
We're getting what do you call this build? A 0 RB light or?
No, it's a hero RB build. It's a hero RB build.
Okay.
We're
even
very
with
much
the round 2 running back, not the round 1 running back.
Yeah, I think hero extends to round 2 this year. I've talked about it. It's like, and I think this year you could even go extreme modified hero RB where you take like a Scadaboo or Jacobs in round 4 and just build off of that, because those guys are going to get the volume. They're going to get like bell cow usage. It's just kind of, does age kind of catch up to Josh Jacobs, and can Scadaboo stay healthy? But you get access to both those guys in round 4 a lot in this format. But I like our start. It's very dangerous. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Devon Achane, Zay Flowers, T. Higgins. I'm going to advocate for taking a 19th round Ollie Gordon too. I feel like he's 100% the guy there. They've talked him up a lot, and I think he's the clear cuff in Miami right now. So we'll keep that in the back pocket. Maybe Trey Camberling in the studio can keep that one just in the back burner. Maybe in the comments remind us.
So how light are you willing to be at RB2? Because we're going to be forced with a choice of, what is it, 2 rounds, Jadarian Price or Tucker Kraft, Jadarian Price or Parker Washington, Jadarian Price or Sam Laporta.
I mean, I'm very open to the 5th round running backs. I think that this is a very live dead zone this year. Hopefully we're going to see a wide receiver run since we're so strong at it, but I think we'll probably walk away with 1 running back in round 5 and round 6. I'd feel fine with that run out.
Round 5 or round 6.
I don't think we need to double tap it unless it's exceptional. Unless it's like an exceptional value.
No, I'm with you. So according to current ADP, there's like a 60% chance Jonathan Brooks is there with the second pick. So that makes me willing to gamble. I know you love Jonathan Brooks.
I love Brooks. I think Brooks is a really good pick there. I think like the idea that you're going to get Brooks or even Jalen Warren in round 7, those guys just get pushed up now. So I think Brooks in the 6th round would make a ton of sense. I think that 5th round we're wide open. I think wide receiver, tight end. 6th round we're really wide open too. Once we get past to like the 6th round though, it gets a little choppy with running backs. You're going to get access to guys like Ramondre Stevenson. I like J.K. Dobbins a little bit later.
When we were on the phone, we talked about this. Is like Tony Pollard, Ramondre Stevenson are like great save values for a 0 RB build. Aaron Jones, Ja'Cory Croskey-Merritt. So like, and those guys have this stink on them in this format where you can really get them late. And like, I feel fine, so long as we're stacked everywhere else, which we're going to be, having those guys as the gross safe RB2, RB3 floor types.
Yeah, I mean, we have 3 wide receiver 3 essentially guys who can finish the year as wide receiver 1s in scoring, and it's sort of I like the idea also with the Higgins pick that it opens you up if Joe. I know you don't like Joe Burrow, but sometimes the quarterbacks fall in like a crazy amount to get a correlation there.
And like the format, for those who don't know, we're chasing $1 million grand prize. And part of that is in the tournament rounds, the bonus rounds, you want to outscore everyone else. So like having the edge pick at one of these onesie positions, it goes a lot farther than just your typical 12-team ESPN league. So I really don't mind, chasing the value when it's a premium quarterback in this format.
I'm looking at the queue now.
I'm not looking at the queue at all. I'm just following along on the screen. Do you want me to start checking the queue?
No, it's fine. We'll just keep talking it out. This next couple rounds are super easy. There'll be like 3 guys each time we're picking. Scattaboo, Kyron Williams, Javonte Williams, Travis Etienne, DeAndre Swift all go in round 4. So the running backs are flying off the board here.
A bunch of guys who I would not take over David Montgomery.
We're going to see probably, I think Montgomery's going to be gone by the time we pick. I think that, and then we see Harold Fannin Jr. go early for a main event.
Early,
was. And there goes McLaurin. So I think we're going to see Bashal Tootin. We're going to see Quinshon Judkins, David Montgomery. I bet they all go by the time we pick because both we're looking at 2 teams with hero RB builds in the 3 and the 4 spot. I think they could end up going running back next 2 picks. Yeah. Harold Fannin, that's probably where he should be going, Scott.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So
would you rather have Warren in round 4 or Harold Fannin in round 5? In a tight end premium format? Well, actually, I don't know. I mean, that's probably equivalent.
I'd rather have Warren in round 4, but that doesn't mean Harold Fannin Jr. can't outscore him if it all goes right. Fannin. One of Warren
and Downs is like egregiously mispriced, and honestly, probably both of them are. With Alec Pierce, I don't know if you've seen his like one calf is 50% the size of the other calf.
Where are you at on Quinshon Judkins at the 508?
He's not one of my guys. He thought he was overrated as a prospect. Doesn't catch passes on a bad team with bad game script.
You know what's going to happen is the team in the 7 spot, the 5,
fuck us, aren't
they're going to take David Montgomery because I know they like David Montgomery. I'll throw out Christian Watson, which we don't need.
Christian Watson.
Structurally, we don't need it, but it's another kind of edge pick.
I'm surprised you're not keeping up for TreVeyon Henderson. I told you on the
phone. Oh, no, I
veto no matter what. But
I would love to take TreVeyon Henderson at the 508. I'm trying to win $1 million, but you want to finish like 3rd and avoid taking TreVeyon when he falls. I get the idea.
The 31-year-old. I'm praying the 31-year-old falls to us.
No, I'm fine with David Montgomery over TreVeyon Henderson, but I think if David Montgomery goes, I think Henderson's interesting. I think what's going to end up happening is, let's see which way this goes.
I think if Montgomery goes, I think we go Jadarian, and then we just take wide receiver the next round, because there's like a larger pool of attractive wide receivers, whereas if Montgomery goes, it's really just Jadarian left.
You're completely dismissing TreVeyon Henderson. We're splitting this team, so I'll go.
I have him below Ramondre, unironically. Chris Wecht and I are in complete agreement. Like, this guy is just
okay. So I know, and I disagreed with Chris Wecht then, and I disagreed with him now. I think TreVeyon is clearly the pick right here. When we get to
you have how much money invested? $800.
Well, technically it's for the people listening at home, it's $2,200 one, but I have multiple teams, so FFPC gave me a little discount on this. So we'll go. I would like to put TreVeyon Henderson in here.
Go ahead, Theo.
And I'll say
just go ahead.
Game theory. Jadarian Price might fall to the 6th round.
Right, but just so you know, I'm not a nice guy. If TreVeyon Henderson ends up being a bad pick, I'm going to text you every single day and remind you of that.
Okay, let's take TreVeyon Henderson. That's the one I'm really caping up. I'm caping up for TreVeyon here.
All right.
End of the 5th, I'm fine with it. Okay, so we take TreVeyon Henderson. Now, 6th round here, I'm putting Jadarian Price in the queue. I'm putting Sam Laporta in the queue.
Oh, man. I can't believe Sam Laporta is still there, too.
I think Laporta is going to be there when you get to the 605. Just a gut feel. It's like 50-50. If he's not there...
It is 50-50, yeah.
Do you want... And Tucker Kraft, I'll throw into the queue.
And Christian Watson and Parker Washington and Devontae Adams.
Watson went. Devontae Adams I'll throw in. I'll throw in Parker Washington. 6th round, we're going to end up with somebody pretty good. Yeah. I'll just ask you, does your enthusiasm with Amon-Ra St. Brown also extend to Jamison Williams?
No. Hey,
okay.
I'm kind of flabbergasted that this is we should have taken Tyler Warren, and we should have taken Tucker Kraft, and we should take Sam Laporta here. This is just like crazy value for tight ends. I'm surprised they're going this late in FFPC.
Year of the tight end. I agree with you. It's year of the tight end. I really believe that there's going to be a number of. I think tight end scoring is going to be really high in FFPC this year. I'm open-minded to Loveland.
Price gone. I feel like this is our practice round, Theo. I feel like we're going to win them $1 million on the next team we draft, not this one.
I like this team a lot. I think this team has a lot of juice, a lot of fiber.
Henderson on it. How could you like it?
It's got TreVeyon Henderson. I like it. I like it even more here. So we've got Tucker Kraft off the board. Jadarian Price goes off the board. Team 10 has 3 running backs to go with Ladd McConkey and Luther Burden. Scott, you gotta. When I was podcasting with you at School of Scott, I'd continually update what's going on in the draft for everyone. You gotta do that. You gotta be the guy to read off the teams and stuff. Which is your favorite build so far of the non-Scott Theo team?
That's a good question. Probably 101. I mean, Jahmyr Gibbs just feels like such a deadly cheat code this year, and they got Drake London, George Pickens, and Harold Fannin. That's a nice team. Yeah. Do you know who that is? I feel like you know everyone.
Don't know the 101 drafter right now. I know that our friend Abib Agbatoba is in the 3 spot. He took Quinshon Judkins at the 503. And he took Garrett Wilson, Devontae Smith, and he took Derrick Henry and Jamar Chase.
He took Chase over Puka. I told the FFPC
all day.
Guys.
All day. I'm doing that too.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Jamar Chase has outscored the Sean McVay wide receiver 1 only once out of 5 seasons.
Yeah, but how good was that season?
Yeah, but how good was Puka last year? He outscored him by 5 fantasy points when healthy?
Well, Jamar Chase, you have no worries about off the field anything. Puka's a maniac.
I'm not really all that worried about. I mean, he seems like he's course corrected a little bit.
Yeah, it is.
I worry
it is
about
training
Joe
camp.
Burrow staying healthy. I'll tell you that.
So if we don't get Laporta here with this next pick, where is the lean?
I'm just gonna like rage quit and just turn this stream off. Oh,
okay. So Laporta goes. Laporta goes. We're getting
murdered. This is like one of the worst.
Well, we're not getting murdered. The team still has a ton of firepower. What is the edge pick here?
TreVeyon Henderson on it. I don't know.
Is the
edge doing too good?
Is the edge pick here? I'll throw out Roma Dunze.
Who it is. You know who I'm going to say.
Okay, so we're OTC. We're on the clock. We have 40 seconds left. It's Roma Dunze, Parker Washington. Roma Dunze, Parker Washington.
How is that even a question?
Just throwing it out there. Okay, let's go like, Parker Washington. Let's go Parker Washington.
Sydney Sweeney or Queen Elizabeth.
That's such a that's a horrible visual for a lot of listeners. Okay, let's go with Parker Washington.
Ana de Armas or Virginia. Who's the owner of the Bears?
I don't know.
She's still alive?
No, probably not. Probably not. I'm just guessing. What somebody? Well, we're not live, so nobody will be able to help us out here.
Virginia McCaskey?
So Parker Washington, T. Higgins, Zay Flowers, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Achane, TreVeyon Henderson. This team has some juice, and this team has a lot of upside.
This team has some juice despite being brutally sniped every single round.
The Tyler Warren, I think in retrospect, Tyler Warren, that was a value we should have just grabbed. And it would have sort of changed the trajectory of our team.
Yeah,
we're very good at wide receiver here, which is a good problem to have. I'll also say, I know you like Trevor Lawrence. I like Trevor Lawrence. I think having Trevor Lawrence in like round 10, round 11, and building out this correlation with Parker Washington, it opens up something good there. We're 7th round could be Isaiah Likely for us. 8th round could be Dallas Goedert. The team in the 9 hole has 2 tight ends already, and the teams 10, 11, and 12 all have a tight end. I know you love double tap in tight end. Some of these teams don't, so they might be looking to attack wide receiver where we're really set at wide receiver. I mean, we're not like closed down at wide receiver, but I think we're in pretty good shape. Jordan Tyson goes in the 6th round here. I have an article coming out at RotoWire, my FFPC targets, and Jordan Tyson in the 7th round was a big target of mine.
Yeah,
he's going to start going in the 6th. Yeah, he's going to start going in the 6th way more, though. I think that article is like one off to update. And Gainwell, you see where Gainwell goes here, Scott?
Your boy.
Gainwell in the 6th round. Shout out to the guys from Roster Watch, Cody Carpentier and Alex. I think it's Cody down at Tampa Bay training camp. They had a awesome like tweets all day long talking about the usage and breakdown of the backfield, what they're seeing at camp. But they talked about like a number of the splits with Gainwell and Bucky Irving. It sounds like it's kind of an ugly split, and they're actually doing some formations with the 2 of them on the field at the same time. They actually are doing that a lot at training camp. They talked about that, so I think they've got a big plan for Gainwell. Isaiah Likely goes off the board in the 6th round there.
What about Jonathan Brooks? Is he still there?
Jonathan Brooks is still there. I imagine he's gone by the time we pick. I love Jonathan Brooks. I'm glad you came around on him.
Did I?
Of course you did.
He has one season with over 30 carries over the last 5 years.
There's some people in fantasy football are making him a big part of their draft plan articles. I don't remember who. Yeah, but there's people.
He does go round 9, round 10 in ESPN. And he's typically going round 6 on FFPC, so that's pretty great value over there.
There is in like the Narnia leagues, he's incredible value.
The Narnia leagues they're out there.
I know. I'm not disparaging you people playing the non high stakes formats or competitive best ball formats.
Just tell them to join the big leagues eventually, and if you do that, use promo code POINTS. For first-time FFPs. I've said this since before FFPC became a sponsor, which they are, but like before that, I was saying this is my favorite place to draft on. There's a $1 million grand prize. You're up against really smart people. We have a great track record. It's kind of easy. I have a section at the end of my draft guide. You just follow along with that, or follow along with my overall rankings and just boost up tight ends. And tight end premium format, lots of fun. The double flex, lots of fun. You like this more than NFFC, right? Or are you not allowed to say that?
No, I like them both. I think that NFFC is really, really good as well. I'm surprised, Scott, though, that you're you've done so well in FFPC, but they give you the points one. They gave me Theo 25. Theo 25 gets you 25 as well, but you could use points. We're on a points podcast right now. I like them both. I think FFPC, NFFC has the live drafts in New York, which I like going to. NFFC, the New York live drafts are like incredibly difficult. FFPC Vegas is awesome. NFFC Vegas is great too. They're both really, really good, but FFPC is obviously larger, and I'm on FFPC way more often because all of my dynasty teams are FFPC. So I'm like on FFPC is like my homepage. I'm there.
Wait, did I say Jonathan Brooks was available?
He's gone at the 602.
Wow, that was a brain
so
part.
I'm gonna say structurally, to get back on track here. Structurally,
are you gonna argue for a quarterback?
No, I'm gonna argue for Dallas Goedert because tight ends are flying off the board.
I'm in full agreement. Let's do that.
So we're about a round early, but
which means we're
it
gonna
doesn't
get
matter.
sniped, of course.
Well, we look at Team 6 has no tight end. That would be and Team 4 here. I don't know if they're thinking about it. Team 4 is perfectly balanced with 3 wide receivers, 3 running backs. Not sure which way they're going to go. They might go Drake May here, Scott.
You know what it is? My draft guide came out, so ADP is much sharper now. We should have drafted a week ago when I asked you.
That's right. It sucks when you get into these. It sucks when you get into these drafts
off of the Scott
where there's
Barrett
11 other drafters using the Scott Barrett ranks.
And Nelson and Jeff from Long Island.
Nelson. No, it's Frankie. Frankie from shout out to Frankie and
shout out to
everybody.
Hotbog. How about that? Hotbog Long Island.
Hotbog, there you go. Shout out to Hotbog Long Island, home of Branchinelli's Pizza.
I was gonna say shout out to Branchinelli's. I'm a Branchinelli's guy.
So Frankie, the team number 7 drafter, or team number 6 takes Lamar Jackson. Look at the gap between Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson, Scott. Quarterback 1 and quarterback 2 is massive this year.
Yeah, I wonder if Team 9's regretting that a little bit.
I'll just say...
although they got a nice team. They got, I mean, Tucker Kraft, Sam Laporta. I mean, DJ Moore, it was a bad pick. But.
Okay, so we are 1 pick away here. And...
I'm showing us on the clock.
Oh, you're showing us OTC. For whatever reason, let me pull up tight end. You want to lean it? So we could go Joe Burrow, or I'll push up Dallas Goedert. I think Goedert could be there in the 8th round.
Let's take Dallas Goedert because I don't have Burrow ahead of Jaden Daniels. I don't have him above Jalen Hurts or Drake May. So we gotta settle that out before we take a quarterback.
Okay, so let's push Dallas Goedert up. Yeah, I think it's fine. I like him more than Kelsey for sure, and I know that sounds like sacrilege, but I like him more than Kelsey. I like him more than any of the other tight ends right here. Yeah. So I think he's fine. We kind of reach a little bit, but at least we're not playing catch up on tight end.
I'm totally fine taking a quarterback in the next round. I like that with our structural build.
If it's the edge, I'll just say that, like, where are you at on Rachaad White? Where are you at on some of these other? Where are you at on Dowdle?
Yeah, so I was going to ask you, what happened to your boy Theo?
What
happened
one?
To your boy Bill? You were captain of the Ja'Cory Croskey-Merritt hype train last year.
I think that Ja'Cory Croskey-Merritt's in play in the 10th round, 11th round, but I think White's the better bet. I think it's a backfield you want to take shots on, especially after the Diggs signing. I think they're going to score points. I think Jaden Daniels is terrific. So I'm open-minded to both, but I think you want to go with Rachaad White if I'm breaking ties.
So Drake I don't know. I've been debating this with Ryan. Ryan's team White. I think based on everything we've heard, the team wants a do-it-all running back who doesn't tip their play-calling hand. And so it's, can they turn Rachaad White into like a better runner? Probably not. I think we know who he is. So it's like, can Ja'Cory Croskey-Merritt show you any more juice as a pass catcher? Because they want an outside zone scheme. Ja'Cory Croskey-Merritt led the league in outside zone yards per carry last year. Maybe he could just be like Kenneth Walker in the passing game. I don't think they know the answer. So I don't mind drafting both guys, honestly. But if forced to pick, I would lean towards the younger back who's a little bit more of an unknown commodity.
I saw Jacob Sanderson, who was like Team Rachaad White all offseason, sort of flip his stance recently. Yeah, he's on Croskey-Merritt. I had Davis Maddock is all over Croskey-Merritt. He came on my show and he was like, that's like one of his like flag plants in that range. I get it. He made a very good point about Croskey-Merritt, and I think that the Croskey-Merritt bag holders are sort of celebrating the fact that Diggs signed there because all the secondary pass catchers sort of take a hit, including Rachaad White. Alec Pierce goes off the board. Scott, you should start opening up your queue and just start loading some guys in just so we're on the same page.
Yeah, I could do that.
Okay, so I'll say we're in a range
let's take a quarterback, or I thought we
go quarterback.
Like the next guy I would put in the queue is egregious. The next guy I would put in is Josh Downs.
Which is not egregious necessarily. I think Josh Downs is fine.
Where is he going?
Here. Eighth round, ninth round?
He's going like round 15.
Because that's the Wakanda, Narnia, Middle Earth, any fake place.
The plebeians and the peasants.
Yeah, that's Westeros. That's Westeros ADP. We're on Earth here, and we're in the real drafts. He's going in the 8th round because he's the number one target, him or Tyler Warren, and they're going to play him on 2 wide receiver sets now. I'll throw out. I think it's quarterback. It's wide receiver, and then if you want to play catch up at running back, I think J.K. Dobbins is interesting. I know Ryan likes R.J. Harvey a little bit, but I think Dobbins' run out at the beginning of the year is going to be pretty fun. I think quarterback is probably the edge here.
Yeah,
we don't need to go quarterback though. One will come back to us.
Why do you want a statue instead of Jaden Daniels or Jalen Hurts or Drake May?
So let's if you don't want Joe because of the correlation, let's take Joe Burrow out of contention if you're well behind. I have him behind Drake May as well, and I like Jaden Daniels a lot. Let's take Joe Burrow.
You can make the pick.
I have Drake May and Jaden Daniels literally neck and neck.
All right, I think let's go Jaden Daniels. I have him a little higher.
Okay, so let's go Jaden Daniels if he comes to us here. We're OTC. No, we're not. For some reason, the board is moving, but I have the other tab open and it's like not moving. I'm going to open up a different tab.
I would love to know what Beeb's thoughts on how this draft has gone and the approach that we took. We'll draft a team with him pretty soon, whether on RotoWire or Fantasy Points.
His team's not very dissimilar to ours in terms of structure. We're at 4
wide.
I mean,
he likes this. He likes the punt RB2 approach a lot. Well, I guess his is
Drake May goes. So we're Jaden Daniels, I think, clearly here.
Yeah. Knowing our luck.
I'm going to open this up on my phone because this board is just not opening up for me.
This has been really fun. We have really good chemistry. This is weird.
Yeah, it's like we should podcast together.
That's right.
Okay, so Jaden Daniels is clearly going to be the pick for us.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, so let me turn off the volume on that. I'm just making sure. Okay, so Jaden Daniels is the pick. I'm going to put in Jaden Daniels.
Nice. You know what I'm going to do? This is like my favorite thing is I'm going to set our starting lineup. Isn't that such a good feeling?
Yeah, I guess. We got a lot of draft to go here, though.
But we have a starting lineup right now.
We do. We actually have a starting lineup. I think it's a good team.
Well, we haven't taken the Exodia kicker yet.
Jake Bates?
You tell me.
Somebody asked me that the other day. I took Jake Bates. I think Jake Bates is good because we have Amon-Ra, but we're not like, having a second line wouldn't hurt. They're going to score 1 million points this year. I think the Lions lead the NFL in scoring this year. Who are you picking? Pick your team.
Lions are a good one. I like Drew Petzing a lot. I put a lot of respect on. I would go Rams. I would go with the chalk pick personally. 49ers, if they didn't practice next to a 5G Chernobyl haunted electrical substation. Yeah. Look at that QB run. And we got the guy we wanted.
Yeah. we're gonna see a few more of them. But I there's always like the 2 for 2s in this, where if we get to like, we're gonna get to like round 11, and one of the quarterbacks you absolutely love is still gonna be there on the board, and we're gonna say, we should have just taken Josh Downs in like round 8 or Quentin Johnson or another. But I'm never gonna get upset about Jaden Daniels. No. And I'm sure you haven't done a School of Scott before. Have you podcasted about the Diggs signing at all?
Yet. No.
Yeah, so I mean Diggs I think is going to move up. You're not into him though as much as I am.
Was in Narnia and Sleeper, Yahoo, ESPN?
Like 15th round.
He was undrafted,
which is crazy. And you know it's funny is last summer you were Mr. Draft Keenan Allen in best ball, and you were like absolutely right on that one, telling everybody
it's the same exact thing. It's easy. Come on.
But I would say in a better spot than what Keenan Allen was, because the target competition.
Way better, way more upside.
Better.
Yeah.
So we're probably round 9. I think we're probably looking at running backs, but tight end and wide receiver are also interesting. I think that Jordan Mason is interesting if he's there in round 9. Okay, you don't like Jordan Mason.
I like that. You know, he's actually not that bad, but over Chuba Hubbard, over J.K. Dobbins, really what I want is to gamble on these Commanders backs, I think.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think that
there's also some wide receivers I really like. Josh Downs didn't go off the board yet.
I like Michael Pittman. I know you don't like him, but I like Mekhi Lemon.
I like Pittman. I like him more than DK Metcalf, but I like Downs a lot more, and 2 other wide receivers.
I don't hate Jake Ferguson this year structurally. When we get down to this range, I know that's always been a guy you've kind of liked.
I actually don't like him. What tight ends do I like?
I think we're probably pushing tight end back a little bit then.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think we're waiting until Terrence Ferguson.
We might want to mix in another tight end besides Terrence Ferguson, though, just because I think structurally, like, I love Terrence Ferguson, but there's a chance the market could be wrong.
Mark Andrews could be here with our next pick.
So dusty.
I mean, that's the thing is, like, he's probably dust, but if he's not, he's going to be... Because, I mean, Isaiah Likely is no longer there. Charlie Kolar is no longer there. So he's going from a 50% route share to an 85%. He scores a shit ton of touchdowns. They have no one else to throw the ball to. Imagine if Zay Flowers gets hurt.
Depending on how these next...
Is DeAndre Hopkins their wide receiver 3? Like, what the heck?
Depending on how these next, like, 6 picks go... There's a chance that the wide receivers start going off the board and we consider Casey Concepcion right here in the round 9.
There would need to be 3 wide receivers off the board that I love and covet. Oh, Josh Downs is gone. Quentin Johnson's gone. All right.
Yep.
That's fair. I can put, you know, I love KC. And maybe that's the pick. I'll put a guy in and you can kind of veto. But,
well, you can say him. We're not live.
You have him here. So Mekhi Lemon's a veto for me. Michael Wilson is who I would take. Casey Concepcion is right there. Bill.
I think it's
J.K. Dobbins. If we really don't think, dude, TreVeyon Henderson had a fucking 30% snap share in the playoffs. He averaged 3.6 fantasy points per game. So if we want guaranteed points with J.K. Dobbins, I'm fully on board with that just because of the risk. If we want to lean into, hey, Theo knows ball, we feel good about that pick, that's fine. But I just want you to make sure you're considering all angles.
For me, I think it's running back here, breaking ties.
Yeah, but what kind of running back is it? Is it swing for the fences upside in Ja'Cory Croskey-Merritt, or is it, mitigate downside in J.K. Dobbins?
I think it's mitigate downside with J.K. Dobbins, and I think he's going to lead. Yeah. And I think it's
also
by the way,
Bill just went off the board. Michael Wilson just went off the board.
So I think we're Dobbins or Mason. I'm still open-minded to Rachaad White. I know the whole world is sort of abandoning ship here, but Rachaad White has 3 seasons with 50 catches or more.
Bill was your guy. I couldn't go 15 minutes on the podcast last year without hearing about Ja'Cory Croskey-Merritt, and now I'm the truther.
No, I think they're both fine. I think it's an offense we want to bet on, and I think they're both fine in this range.
No, well, yeah, okay, that's fair. I keep hearing that they sign Rachaad White to be who Austin Eckler was supposed to be, but basically they're kind of hoping Ja'Cory Croskey-Merritt can be, a phenom. So, like, I feel like the team is kind of rooting for Ja'Cory.
Well, I think Jordan Mason is interesting in this range. I think that like I've had some decent intel here, Scott, on his role.
Okay.
But I think that they wanted to move off of Aaron Jones in the offseason. Apparently the Minnesota Vikings were involved with a huge name that they didn't get. So we don't know if that was Walker or something like that, but they ended up like re-signing Jones after they missed on some guys. And then Damon Claiborne, is the only running back they bring in. So I think Mason helps us out a little bit.
You know what would have been a great chance to move on from Aaron Jones was like in the second half last year when he was, clearly hurt, and they still just gave him 70% snap share over Jordan Mason. I kind of think James Conner signs there, and then I know he's like a rich man's Aaron Jones, but like I kind of like him more than Jordan Mason if that happens. By the way, our luck is awful. J.K. Dobbins sniped. So
I think it's Mason, because we're not going to like what's going on at running back when we come back around. We can get really aggressive in the rounds 10 and on, Scott.
Dude, could we take Aaron Jones? Because I like Aaron Jones more than Jordan Mason.
He's going to fall a million rounds because no one wants him.
All right, you want to grab both then?
Let's grab Mason, and if Jones is there in like the 11th, I'll let you take him. But the 10th round, I think, is a wide receiver.
So long as KC is gone.
If you want to go KC, we could go KC here. You're not going to twist my arm on that one. I think KC probably comes back around to us.
All right, then we'll make that gamble. But this has not been our draft.
Okay, so again, we can let's go Mason.
Listen, Theo, we got to start scheduling these drafts for like Saturdays at 10 p.m. when the donkeys come out and they're drinking and they were at the pool all day, and not freaking Abib is Abib and Nelson and all these pros are 90% of this league.
I still like I don't think that this team is like a bad team or dead or anything like that. It's just going to be a difficult league, and we're going to have to do what we can on the waiver wire and whatnot. But we're not like a defeated. How often does
a difficult league win the $1 million grand prize?
That's a good question. That's a really good question.
My wife just brought me In-N-Out. Shout out to my wife. Shout out to In-N-Out. Our sponsor today is.
How about In-N-Out being in the state of Texas?
Yeah.
That's a nice run out for you.
Have that.
No, we don't. We have some of the best food in the entire planet, though.
What's your go-to cheat meal fast food?
I don't dislike a Chick-fil-A. I like Chick-fil-A. Okay. But I eat clean at Chick-fil-A. I like grilled nuggets. I like some grilled nuggets. Chipotle is not bad. Chipotle's not bad. My kids like Chipotle, so we'll get in there sometimes. We got to get serious about this next pick, though, because I think we're in really good territory to get sort of a dangerous player. If it's not Casey Concepcion,
then you're on your own.
Then you're quitting.
I got nothing for you.
If it's not Casey Concepcion, I think it's Stephon Diggs.
Oh, you know what? Hey, you're right. That's a great call.
I think it's Diggs. But again, Scott, we talk about the 2 for 2s. Quarterback still on the board. Jalen Hurts, Justin Herbert, Trevor Lawrence, Brock Purdy.
I know.
But I still like getting Jaden Daniels. Jackson Dart still on the board. So Xavier Worthy, Mekhi Lemon, Michael Pittman go. Jake Ferguson goes. It would have been a fun tight end. I'll say also when you draft Dallas Goedert, and we really like the idea of getting Terrence Ferguson, I don't mind just taking Eli Stowers and having essentially the Philadelphia tight end room. I don't think Stowers is really getting zero buzz whatsoever. But if Goddard were to miss time, it was a player that I know me, you, and Brett really, really liked. And I just don't mind being like really fragile at tight end, but ensuring that we get the Philadelphia tight end role. And if Lemon misses more time,
first of all, I don't draft handcuffs, especially not in a league with $1 million grand prize. That raises your floor at the cost of your ceiling. So I have no interest in that. That's a veto for me. I think we're going to be good at tight end. I think we take Terrence Ferguson, Greg Dulcich, Pat Freiermuth, maybe Eric All in the last round.
What are we talking about here? Eric, we're gonna catch up and win $1 million with Dulcich, Freiermuth, and Eric All?
Dude, Pat Freiermuth is an ideal floor tight end. Like he's gonna outscore like any of these wide receivers going in this range.
Okay, hold on. If Dallas Goedert were to go down in week 1, Eli Stowers steps in as the starting tight end in Philadelphia. Who is Scott Barrett considering more in DFS or ranking higher throughout the rest of the season? Eric All, Pat Freiermuth, Greg Dulcich, or Eli Stowers attached to the Philadelphia Eagles offense?
Yeah. If my aunt had nuts, she would be my uncle. So
okay, that's fine. But there we go. We just made our argument that Eli Stowers would have immense upside. It's not handcuffing to handcuff. It's handcuffing a player that.
Yeah, but we just lost our round 6 pick, so we're behind the 8 ball, and our odds of winning the $1 million grand prize.
We're one pick out, one pick away.
Jalen Hurts in round 10. My God,
I know.
You called it. We were like, Jaden Daniels.
I still like getting Jaden Daniels, but again, it's hindsight's also 2020. But Caleb Williams goes in round 9, Trevor Lawrence in round 10, Jalen Hurts in round 10, and you still have Justin Herbert on the board. You still have Brock Purdy on the board. It's just like this. It's like the siren call. Have you seen The Odyssey yet, Scott?
No, I read it in college.
Oh my God, I read the book. The movie's much better than the book.
How can you say that? The book has lasted, thousands of years as a classic. Movie.
Nobody wants to read some
is
old
apparently
Homer
woke
book.
And
it's not
CGI and.
Okay, so let's go. But I'd say we're OTC here. It's KC Concepcion easily.
Hell yeah.
Okay, so we'll take KCC.
We got our guy.
Unless you want to draft a little Keaton Mitchell.
We got Midwest Zay Flowers.
All right, we're going KC Concepcion over Keaton Mitchell, over Stephon Diggs, and over Tyrone Tracy. That's our cue. So we're going KCC.
Zay Flowers.
KCC. So we have the old Zay Flowers and the new Zay Flowers on our team.
Oh, I'll tell you, I just added 3 wide receivers I really like to the queue. One of them is Brett Whitefield's Exodia.
With all respect to Brett Whitefield's Exodia, I heard that take from Brett. It was good. It was a good take. I understand it, but I think that would take an AJ Brown injury for Dubs to be as good as he thinks he would be in fantasy.
I was talking about Jaden Higgins.
Oh, I love Higgins, but I will say this, Scott. We've got to start leaning into tight end and running back structurally because
I know.
we have 5 really fun wide receivers. We have Amon-Ra St. Brown, Zay Flowers, T. Higgins, Parker Washington, KC Concepcion. We're going to get into the 11th, 12th round.
Brenton Strange, I think this is one of Chris Weck's guys. He's a great high floor tight end. Chig Okonkwo, even after the Diggs.
Agree on that. Agree. I like Chig in this range because Chig was going much higher, and I get it. But if you're the number 3 target on the team, I think he's still fun, and it gives us correlation.
I really don't want to miss out on Terrence Ferguson, especially in this format. This reminds me of when Puka last year, Cam Scatterbu last year was like, I don't care. Like the odds of them making it, next round, like this is a player worth reaching 2 rounds on.
So you've capitulated and you're not advocating for the School of Scott listeners to draft Chris Rodriguez anymore?
I never said I wanted to draft Chris Rodriguez. I just said Ryan needs to pump the brakes on his Bashal Tutin love because it was getting out of control.
Okay, so
do you want to hear this take, or you want to save it for your podcast?
No, say the take.
I just think there's a lot of downside there. Like, so if you actually look at our rankings, Ryan and I both have him RB20. So it's not even the case that I'm lower and he's higher, but just I like David Montgomery. I like some of these other running backs. I like Cam Scatterbu. And so, I think there's a tier difference. And so it's just with Bashal Tutin, The guy had 0 carries over 15 yards last year. He had 2 games over 28 yards from scrimmage. He kind of sucked last year. And there's a real downside case where Chris Rodriguez is getting 12 to 14 to 16 carries per game, where LaQuint Allen is catching passes, and this guy is just not doing anything. And if you listen to Liam Cohen talk, it really seems like what he's rooting for is like a 60-40 committee where Basil Tootin gets, 14 carries and 2 targets, best case scenario. And then Chris Rodriguez gets 8 to 12 carries per game. So I don't know, just where he's going. I think, RB20. That's how I view it.
Fair.
What do you think? What do you think?
I think Tootin is the much better bet, but I took
Chris Rodriguez. I'm not saying that because Chris Rodriguez doesn't catch passes. I'm just saying Chris Rodriguez can be a thorn in Basil Tootin's side.
I agree with you. I think that the ceiling case for Tootin is higher than RB20 though. I think that a Tootin can catch passes.
The ceiling case is higher, but I'm talking about the downside here is like real. Like there's a real scenario. This is like a disgusting 3-way committee, and he's like one of the worst picks you could have made. And so you're balancing the upside versus the downside, and knowing that upside is more valuable than downside is detrimental. I come out to RB20. Ryan Heath comes out to RB20, and that's his guy. That's the guy he's doing backflips over. So
I'll see where I have him in my rankings. I think it's right around RB20 as well. But again, I think it's an RB20 that's a fun RB20 where some of these guys you take them in, the upside is not quite as high. I'll say the one thing about Jacksonville that's interesting.
Well, here's my hot take. I have Jadarian Price 1 spot above Basil Tootin. And I think that's going to be consensus. I think you're going to watch Hard Knocks. People are going to lose their minds. They're going to be like, oh, that's right. Zach Charbonnet, you talk to any injury expert, he's probably not coming back till week 9. And then what's his backfield competition? It's George Holani. Meanwhile, Chris Rodriguez has been on the School of Scott podcast. Shout out to Chris Rodriguez for coming on the show. And since he came into the league, leads all running backs in yards after contact per attempt, ranks 2nd best in EPA per run, ranks 3rd best in explosive run rate, 4th best in touchdown rate, 5th best in missed tackles forced per touch. I think he's good, man. I think he's a really good early down runner. And Basil Tootin last year, like I said, he kind of sucked. I liked him coming out, but it wasn't a great rookie year. And Chris Rodriguez has been on the podcast, so I'm rooting for him.
We see a few more of these quarterbacks go off the board. We see Rodriguez go. We see Deebo Samuel go at the 11:01. Stribling and Samuel are both kind of tethered in ADP. I think we'll see Stribling pretty soon.
Yeah.
Marshawn Lloyd in round 10 to the he's
poor man's Jonathan Brooks, I guess.
That manager takes Marshawn Lloyd every single time, and they know what they're doing. Marshawn Lloyd is he's in elite handcuff territory right now, and I think he'll be a handcuff plus. Well, not a great handcuff plus, but it would take a Jacobs injury for him to really be fully unlocked. But I think we'll see like some weekly touches, and he looks explosive, and they're hyping him up. Mahomes and Purdy back to back, Scott. You start seeing a lot of these 2 QB builds. That's Joe Van Gogh in the 2 spot, who's one of the more high volume dynasty managers in FFPC. Makes a ton.
From now on, you need to text your buddies and be like, "Hey, don't join tonight.
Don't stay out of the streets."
Yeah.
I'll see a bunch of these guys in Vegas as well. I want
soft competition. That helps our odds of winning $1 million.
When are you going to make a Vegas School of Scott trip out there, and we'll pod live and we'll do a draft?
We don't want to get out to Vegas. We talked about doing that this year, and then I don't know, something happened.
You're pretty close. You're pretty close to Vegas, though. It doesn't. The fact that I'm working at another company doesn't preclude you from going to Vegas and drafting a team with me, though. Okay, so Matthew Stafford goes. So that one team waited until the 11th round, and they get Stafford as their QB1.
Bro, you could honestly wait till round 16 and be.
And they have a Puka Matthew Stafford team. Puka Matthew Stafford. That's pretty nice. So Scott, here in round 11, the players I have in the queue, and we're like miles away. Keaton Mitchell will not last to us. Tyrone Tracy would be interesting. As much as I like, the guy's 1,000 yards in consecutive seasons.
This is why I hate hero RB builds, because like I just don't ever want to draft handcuffs unless it's like the last round of my draft.
I know, but structurally you're in great shape. We are in great shape at wide receiver right now. So like running back, tight end is really where we got to attack here.
Right. Higgins
is off the board. I don't think there's a single wide receiver that's like must draft here. I love getting Denzel Boston when I get.
I think Brendan Strange, because you raise a good point that we're weak, and you want some safety. I think he's a great high floor tight end.
Yeah, I'll take Brendan Strange. It's the Bowers team, so hopefully Strange makes it to us. They still like Chig Okonkwo. I wouldn't be surprised if they take Chig here. Are you on Brenton Strange over Chig with adding the correlation here? Isn't it a little bit of a similar bet where it's a tight end who's probably not going to be the number 2 target on their team in a vacuum?
So I don't know. This is like a big Chris Weck thing. Like this is his guy at the tight end position. I kind of feel like he needs injuries to have real upside, but just based on the projections, which by the way is really good for figuring out a floor, seems like a really good high floor tight end too.
Okay, so I'm fine with Brenton Strange here. So let's go Brenton Strange over Chig Okonkwo, over Tyrone Tracy, and we're potentially losing out on Terrence Ferguson, but I don't think I think we might get access to him as well. So let's go Brenton Strange, a very safe starting tight end. I believe we drafted Brenton Strange last year on that team with Rich Rebar, and we had Strange on that one. That team was awesome. We have to draft with Rich. I saw Rich in New York this week. Saw a bunch of your guys at the flex leagues. I saw Debro, Rich Rebar was there. My guy Nando DeFino, really good guy. John Daigle was there from Establish the Run. Bunch of people were up there. It was a good scene. They had the Scott Fishbowl drafters, and then they had I saw Shane Manila, who was on this YouTube channel on Dynasty Life when it was over here at Fantasy Points from over with Scott Connor. Those guys, they were up there, and then it was a ton of people. Like I saw 1 million people there. It was really fun.
That sounds awesome.
Scott Fish. There was a lady wearing a Fantasy Points hat there.
No way.
Yeah, there was a lady wearing a Fantasy Points hat. If you're listening to the podcast, please comment. I didn't talk to her. It was like such a busy. I was like drafting. I'm sitting there drafting. The draft took forever. And I see a lady like wearing, I think, a Scott Fishbowl t-shirt and a Fantasy Points hat. And I was looking at her thinking, did I work with you and not know it? But no, I think she just liked Fantasy Points.
Wow. Awesome.
There we go.
Look at that. That means we have more female fans than every other fantasy site combined.
There you go. There you go. I have ladies in my comments who listen to my podcast, Scott. I guess I'm probably 50-50 on male female ratio. I guess the Fantasy Points network is not inviting to women. They got to come listen on RotoWire. So yeah, they don't want your business here at Fantasy Points.
Yeah. You were really popular with the ladies. Also the guys. There's one off-color remark about you being on a fireman's calendar or something.
I still get those guys who come in and make these comments on YouTube. It's really unsettling, if anything. But what are you gonna do? Okay, so we've got. I think Ferguson, if he's there, we take him.
Yeah.
I'll just throw out running back wise. Where are you at on the idea of Tank Bigsby? I know you don't like handcuffs.
No, I like Tank Bigsby a lot. He's like the one handcuff I'll make an exception for. You had Ryan Pagnetti on your show.
Yeah.
He said it on my show. Is like, dude, he thinks he might be more talented at this stage of Saquon's career than Saquon. And like the vibes. I know you're a big vibes guy. Have been outstanding this offseason. And I mean, if Saquon goes down, it's kind of good game. He's right into a 20+ touch workload.
Yeah, I mean, if the whole like, where would you rank this guy if the starter went down? He'd be an RB1 with that offensive line playing next to Jalen Hurts, and we saw him outperform Travis Etienne 2 years ago easily. Was much more productive than Travis Etienne.
Hard to do.
I know you're very. I mean, ETN, the run out for ETN right now is not so good. I'm going to adjust the board.
We have a rule at Fantasy Points. You're not allowed to call him by his new name. You have to call him Travis Etienne.
I had Sigmund Bloom on, our friend, came on my show, dropping shows every single day.
He
Scott.
did your show? Wow. I'm surprised you get big name guests like that over that RotoWire.
They're all coming on. The only one that won't come on the show is Scott Barrett, who waits till August to come on. Ryan Heath came on. Ryan Heath that was
probably your biggest show. Get a name like that over at RotoWire.
Ryan Heath was up there though. He's top 10 probably. We set the record for the most YouTube views in RotoWire history.
You beat Joe Rogan?
I beat them all. Okay, so Romeo Dubs.
Are you
Brett
Whitefield's... it? Do you have like an army in India? Just
yeah, that's it, Scott. That's it, Scott. That's it. We're running it up overseas.
Yeah.
No, the shows have been very good. Scott's coming on. Ryan Heath's coming on to draft a team with me. Jacob Gibbs drafted an FFPC team with me. That was the first time Jacob has drafted an FFPC team. Can you believe that?
Crazy.
Yeah. He loved it. He said, Scott Barrett never invites me on. He said, Scott never wants to draft with me. Thank you, Theo, for having me on. Okay, so Terrence Ferguson, we're one pick away. If we get sniped on Ferguson, and we saw Tank Bigsby go off the board. So we're pretty fragile at running back still, but what are you going to do? That's sort of the nature of this build. Tyjae Spears was in our queue too. I know you never liked those guys.
All right, we're on the clock.
Okay, so let's take Terrence Ferguson, and then we've got to start attacking. Let me put in the Terrence Ferguson pick.
Oh, I found another handcuff I like, and I really don't like handcuffs.
Who's your handcuff?
Maybe two I like.
There's several guys I like, but I'll tell you what we have to do. We have to do the Minnesota double tap. We're taking Devon Claiborne in like round 15 or round 16.
That's your guy this year?
Well, I just think if you're making the bet on, it's the fade Aaron Jones bet with Jordan Mason and Claiborne. Those are the two guys there. The same person that gave me the sort of inside tip on Mason was also talking about how the team really likes Claiborne as a guy who could sort of have at least a run at some point this season. I think Claiborne, I came out and I said he reminded me a little bit of like Keaton Mitchell rookie year.
Who did Aaron Jones say he reminded him of? Jahmyr Gibbs?
Yeah, Aaron Jones said Jahmyr Gibbs. It's insane. And so I came out and I said it reminds me of rookie year Keaton Mitchell. And then Sigmund Bloom, I deeply offended him. The football guys like Matt Waldman and Sigmund Bloom, they all love Damon Claiborne. And they came out there and he was like, no, he's Devonta Freeman part 2.
Ooh.
And I'm like, okay, Sig.
Damn.
And when Matt Waldman came on Fantasy Points Dynasty YouTube, Claiborne was like his guy. Like pre-NFL draft, he was just like pounding the table for Claiborne. I think Claiborne's good. It's just a perfect run out for Claiborne where the competition is Aaron Jones, besides Derrick Henry, the oldest running back that's going to get touches on week 1. The chances of him breaking down, I think, are pretty high at this age. He looked bad in the second half of last season, like you said. And I think they'll get as much as they can out of Jordan Mason. But could we get a 4-week stretch where it's Claiborne? I think that would be a fun 4-week stretch.
Yeah. Who are the biggest, like, all-hype team, guys who are really skyrocketing up?
Denzel Boston is the biggest hype guy right now, I think, out on the planet.
So? Okay.
But I don't think that the fantasy community is buying in on it. But, like, if you read, like, the NFL people, the Cleveland beat reporters, Denzel Boston, like, to the moon. Jaden Higgins, huge drum beats guy.
That's not, like, a thing that, like, every single year I track that. And it's like, oh, Elijah Moore, Greg Dortch, Justin Ross, and those guys never do jack shit.
It was Ollie Gordon last year, remember?
Ollie Gordon.
Dude,
Drake May, my Exodia quarterback last year. Do you know how many freaking times I got tagged in Drake May really struggling at Patriots camp?
Camp doesn't matter, right?
No. And these guys... So did you see the School of Scott with Brett where we like trashed beat writers and we're like, they get 15 minutes of practice and they don't know what they're looking at anyway.
Well, how about speaking of beat writers? How about Jordan Renan, who's one of the best ones for the Giants there is?
Yeah, second best behind Dan Duggan, but yeah.
told everyone about how bad Malik Nabers' injury run out is right now and how he doesn't anticipate him there until like week 5, and sort of all these people complete faded him. Yeah. And then there was people sitting there with 5th round exposure to Malik Nabers. If Nabers plays in week 1, like Jordan Renan, like directly affected overall prizes in potentially like FFPC and FFPC.
Do you know what he was saying last year? He was saying avoid Cam Scadaboo at all costs in fantasy football. Whereas Dan Duggan was saying, no, actually, I can see Scadaboo taking over the backfield by October. So I'm not going to tell you who Fantasy Point source is, but I'll tell you ETR's source is Jordan Renan. So good for them to have access to the second best Giants beat.
There you go. Adam Levitan came on my channel at RotoWire, and Evan Silva's coming on.
How much do you have to pay him to do that?
I had to Venmo these guys, that Venmo him appearance fees, but Scott Barrett, who I podcasted with a million times, waiting until like the end of August maybe, and Scott told me he'll come on for 15 minutes. That's it. 15-minute pod.
15 minutes for $50. That was the deal.
That's it. Yeah. Charbonnet goes off the board. A bunch of like really fun
off the board, which is disappointing.
And the team, the team in the 7 hole went J.K. Dobbins, Marshawn Lloyd, Keaton Mitchell, Jaden Blue. They've been drafting a ton of Marshawn Lloyd and Jaden Blue and pushing them up. Every draft I'm in with those.
Jaden Blue is a great pick in round 12.
I love Jaden Blue.
I forgot about him. That's a really good one.
We needed to catch up at tight end though, and we're completely caught up. We have.
I get the slightest Tony Pollard. What is it? 2023, 2022 Tony Pollard vibes from Jaden Blue, because he was totally in the doghouse last year, and now he's back in their good graces.
He's explosive, and he's can catch passes. So it's like if Javonte Williams misses time, yeah, exactly. That's a nice one. Adonai Mitchell in round 13. He's another sort of drum beats guy.
I hated Adonai Mitchell coming out, and since he's been in the NFL, I like him. Average separation score is really high. That's about it.
I was taking him in the 15th round over and over and over again, and now he's starting to move up a little bit. I think it's with Sadiq dealing with the hernia thing. It sort of opens... it's even more clear that I think Mitchell or Cooper could do something. But I don't know. Mitchell's been really, really good.
I really struggle to imagine there's a third guy on the Jets who's relevant, or I guess fourth guy after Breece Hall. When typically, on average, the last 5 years, there's 0 guys. Would you have taken Brandon Aubrey if he fell to us here?
In the 13th round, I would take Brandon Aubrey. I like Brandon Aubrey. I think it's an edge. I
think you're right. I mean, like any other format, you're an idiot. But $1 million grand prize, you want to win the bonus rounds.
You also get 6 points for the 60-yarder. And Ryan Paganetti was talking about the NFL being like more willing to kick those long field goals, especially with like the kickoff return rules, how it's easy to get into field goal range, and you're going to see like, I think Cam Little's another potential edge kicker.
Yeah. Ryan loves Cam Little. Hey, I got someone for you.
Who?
Training camp hype. RB1 is the most injury prone running back of all time. The pass catching back kind of sucked last year. What about Jonah Coleman? The model loved him. The model thought he was what, the second or third best running back in the class?
We're right in the Jonah Coleman wheelhouse. If you want to take him, I think he's fine here.
Does Freiermuth typically fall in the next round?
Yes, Freiermuth is going to fall to the depths of the draft because no one wants him except for Scott Barrett. Yeah. Freiermuth's current ADP. I have to scroll down.
Freiermuth sucked because Arthur Smith likes a 3-way tight end committee. The new coach doesn't feel that way. So this was a guy who previously was like, routinely a low-end tight end 1. So I do like Freiermuth. He's a great value in this format. Jonah Coleman, of course, we just got sniped because this is not our draft Theo.
Well, I like where your head's at with some of these other running backs in the queue.
What about a defense? Is there a defense you would take here?
I think obviously the Houston Texans I think are an edge, but I think defense is probably 15th round. I'm looking at the board right now. Claiborne's high is the 14th round.
Oh, yeah. If you want to get your guy here, that's fine by me.
I don't think we need to take him this high. I think it's probably Pacheco, and which is stinks.
Yeah, no, he's awesome. I mean, like he could have standalone value if he's like David Montgomery, but probably not. In which case, he's just a great handcuff. So,
okay, so we adjusted that one. So we get our 4th running back. And I think Damon Claiborne in round 14, Scott, especially because Denzel Boston's off the board. I like your instincts with Ray Davis. I think he could go a little later, though. I like the idea of Claiborne and just double tapping this Minnesota situation.
Yeah, that's fine by me if you feel strongly about it.
Yeah, I mean, I feel good about it. I think we catch up a little bit structurally. Pacheco helps us. I think that TreVeyon Henderson... When Henderson, so we get the opening game with Henderson.
Hey, let me move Pat Fryermuth down our queue so that doesn't.
Yeah, just delete him.
I'll take Eric All out of there too. How does that sound?
You put Eric All in the queue. We would be the first team.
Just kidding.
We would be the first team in main event history to draft him.
Dude, he's gonna be a league winner. Round 20. Promise me Eric All on round 20.
Did somebody just take Boston Scott?
Oh. I maybe meant Denzel Boston. Wait, is Denzel Boston off the board now? No way.
Oh, somebody put in Boston.
Yo,
we ruined this draft.
This commissioner's wild.
This commissioner's like, give him David Boston.
The baseball player.
This is the same guy who ran up as soon as we requested commissioner help. The guy ran up and furiously put in his pick to try to just like jam it through because they know we can't select somebody who was selected. We have to say somebody who hasn't been selected. So I hope they stick him with Boston Scott.
That'd be so funny. Well, but didn't it change? Wasn't it Denzel Boston and then it changed to Boston Scott?
Yeah, I think he must have just like taken him off the. Oh, the commish messed it up. Because he put in the word Boston to search, and FFPC never takes out guys, I guess. So that's what we've learned from this show. The show is off the rails here, Scott. I don't dislike the
would go off the rails.
I don't dislike this team though. I'll tell you, like I think we've caught up a little bit. I don't
think it's. I think. I mean, so like. Part of the best thing about us, Theo, is you do all the heavy lifting during the season. And you make some miracle moves. You're the high stakes waiver GOAT. Everyone knows that. I'll admit that. And so it's salvageable, but is it? I feel like you have to run really pure to win the $1 million grand prize. I'd say the odds aren't great. Hey, maybe Ramondre tears his ACL in a week, and we're like, oh, this team looks great. But not a lot of things went our way in this one.
We got sniped a few times. The David Montgomery pick would have been fantastic to get him there. Yeah. I mean, we were sniped multiple times in this one, but I think we recovered a little bit. Laporta, if we had Laporta and Montgomery, that run out would have been fantastic.
I know.
But hey, that's why the 8 spot is tricky. But
the 8, we said that when we were on the phone. We're like, you're like, we're drafting 8th, and I'm like, and you're like, I know.
At the end of the day, if Devon Achane and Amon-Ra St. Brown hit their averages from last year, then we're in contention in this league. Because I think Flowers is going to turn out to be a really, really good pick.
Yeah.
I think TreVeyon Henderson, I cannot wait for you to watch the opener, Seattle, New England opener, and TreVeyon Henderson does something amazing, scores a long touchdown, and you're having to like post about it.
Yeah, he'll score a special teams touchdown if we're lucky.
Okay, so we're starting to see all these like Jerry Jeudy, Jalen Naylor, and now we see Kamara. Let's take Damon Claiborne and lock it in.
Sounds good.
Okay, so we're going with Minnesota.
A peek behind the curtain here. We're drafting during the Hall of Fame game. I have like 15 different text messages from people. Apparently Haynes King went nuclear. Haynes King was a big Scott Barrett guy, big Brett Whitefield guy.
That was a big Brett Whitefield guy.
D-bro guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he's the fastest white boy quarterback of all time. He has the best 40-yard dash of any white quarterback ever. So, I like the Konami code.
He was a like a college football DFS type guy. Like he would put up good numbers. He was good. And did it at a high level for Georgia Tech. It wasn't like he was a zero.
He really elevated that, kind of minor team.
See Dylan Sampson go off the board. We took Claiborne, so now we're at 5 running backs. I feel a little bit better because we have that double tap situation. And I think we'll take Ollie Gordon in like round 19. We're back to being like sort of wide open.
Handcuff for you.
Well, I mean, Gordon's just sort of free, and
yeah, that's fair.
Read Jeff Hafley talking about Ollie Gordon. Did you read the Jeff Hafley comments about Ollie Gordon?
No.
He wants him to compete to be the starter. He wants him to compete to be an every down back. He signaled out his pass catching ability, his pass blocking. He's like head over heels about Ollie Gordon. Obviously, Achane's his own man, but Achane's going to have to be used to like max capacity on touches. Maybe you're going to see Ollie Gordon mix in, and like it's like what people wanted from Ollie Gordon last year, they're going to actually get, where he gets like 10 touches a game. But Achane is like otherworldly, leads the team in targets, leads the team in catches, and is like towards the top of the NFL in like yards per carry, playing next to Malik Willis.
Hey, if you're listening, I know these last few rounds typically aren't the most entertaining. Instead of just like exiting out, make sure you fast forward actually to the end where Theo walks you through how exactly this team is going to win us $1 million. That was always my favorite thing about drafting with you last year is you always nailed that. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, Rich Rebar was blown away by that one, and then we almost won the Millie with him. Okay, so Ray Davis goes off the board.
That's who I have in the queue.
Yeah, and Ray Davis I think is fine. Where are you at on the Kalen Black? Interested in Kalen Black in San Francisco?
I mean, why not? It's, just because of how injury prone Christian McCaffrey is. I don't like him significantly more than the other 49ers handcuff, but he's probably the presumptive favorite, right?
And I'll say this, just the waiting on quarterback in the FFPC talk, Jared Goff still on the board in round 15. You could have had a Jared Goff, Malik Willis team and just avoided quarterback entirely. I'm workshopping this year's version of. You want to hear it? I think Brett Whitefield's like it. I think Scott Barrett's going to hate it. You want to hear it?
Yeah.
Next week, I'm doing a this year's version of podcast. And Jared Goff this year becomes this year's version of 2025 Matthew Stafford. And he passes for 40-plus touchdowns this year.
Yeah, I like that. I think that I don't hate that at all. I think that's a really... I was kind of making the case last year for Jared Goff to win MVP because, like, he's always top 3 in passing yards. And then the Lions are always, like, basically leading the league in total touchdowns. And they always have, like, one of the lowest pass rates inside the red zone. And it's just like, hey, what if that flips? Then, yeah, he could have what Matthew Stafford had last year where he leads all quarterbacks by 8 passing touchdowns. Drake May deserved MVP and would have won our subscribers a lot of money, but an 8 touchdown advantage is still going to win out over the nerds at the end of the day.
We have no correlation with Jaden Daniels. That's sort of one regret I have of this team.
Well, I wanted to draft Ja'Cory Croskey-Merritt.
Well, he went before we picked. You didn't want to take him. Where did Croskey-Merritt go again? He went at the 903. You didn't want to take him over Dallas Goedert or Jaden Daniels.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, so we didn't have that conversation. I think that Croskey-Merritt and White, it's interesting. It's interesting for sure. And Braylon Allen goes in round 15. We're going to start seeing more of these handcuffs. Let's see. I'll scroll this down a bit. We're in the end game here. We've also got the free look where we've got a free look from TreVeyon.
Can you explain this to me? I feel like you have to explain it to me every single time. But.
So basically you get the ability to take players in and out of your lineup. So let's say that TreVeyon Henderson.
Just for week 1.
Just for week 1 and just for the first 2 games. So it's the San Francisco LA game and the New England Seattle game. Just those 2 games. but it's still an edge. Terrence Ferguson ends up catching 2 touchdowns on your bench. You put him in the lineup. I mean, in tight end premium, if Terrence Ferguson
Why
gets
did
6...
they do that? Why did they do that?
Because you have drafts that happen after those
that's
2
right,
games.
that's right,
Yep,
right.
in Vegas.
Duh. Can we take Pat Freiermuth here?
I don't think we need to. Pat Freiermuth will be there in round 17.
All right.
I think the edge here is if Seattle or Denver are on the board, we just take an elite defense so we don't have to play the waiver wire. And you have a double-edged sword there too, where Seattle is a free look as well.
Fine by me.
They're both elite defenses. Where does Chris Wecht have them in his defensive projections? I could pull up RotoWire, but I know you memorized Chris Wecht's projections here.
Yeah, just for all the hours of my life I've spent this offseason debating Chris, who is really hard to debate against.
When he first debuted his defensive rankings, they weren't as locked in, but then, last time I checked, they looked very good. Jared Goff goes in round 15. Unbelievable.
So who are you asking about? What defense?
Defense. I'm on Denver and Seattle.
Well, we have Seattle 3, we have Denver 4, and we have 8.8 separating them. So not even a full point separating them.
If this was live and Trey Camberling would have allowed us to go live on this one, we could have crowdsourced this pick. People would have loved it. Okay, so we're OTC here.
We didn't go live because we were worried about being sniped, and then lo and behold,
we get crazy sniped. Okay, so I say we go Denver, unless you have a lean towards Seattle.
No, that sounds great.
Let's go Denver. Okay, so we get an elite pass rush defense.
Who wins the Super Bowl this year? How about that, Theo?
I had like a weird vibe with a couple of teams. I don't know. It's a really tough year for a Super Bowl. Last year, New England, Seattle, nobody had that on their bingo card.
I picked the 49ers every single year, and then if they didn't have like the worst, most catastrophic injury luck, like I feel like that would have came true. But every year that happens.
You always pick them. I don't know. They're very old.
Love Kyle.
They're very, very old. It's probably the Rams. It's probably just the low-hanging fruit, and the Rams with all the defense they have, and they're just going to be able to like grind games away. Like having Blake Corum in the second half of games and just let Blake Corum run the clock out, and actually Blake Corum might end up with 950 rushing yards and like 9 rushing touchdowns, just on how good that defense is going to be.
All right, so Rams. Broncos, Rams, Bills, Rams.
Maybe Chargers. You don't want to go there? That's too woke for you?
I made 2 bets this year when I flew to New Jersey. It was Chargers to win the Super Bowl. It was Chargers to win the Justin Herbert to win MVP. I've said I'd change that. I think I'd flip to Trevor. At least at the last odds I saw, but maybe that was a couple months ago.
We have no need to necessarily. Oh, I'll throw out Kamani Vidal here in this round, in round 16, where Vidal is starting to. He was like going in like round 19 consistently. But
what about the quarterback that you have?
Quarterback is fine here. I think that if you want to go Malik Willis or Tyler Shuck in the 16th round, they're both fine.
I mean, is our quarterback not super injury prone? He is. And also, what is the bye week for Washington? Let me pull that up. 7.
Week 7. So we need a week 7 quarterback. So it's early.
Top of the dome. Shout out.
Yeah. Scott Barrett, the best ball king.
I've drafted 2 teams. One on Neil's stream, one on Davis's stream. Did you watch the Davis stream?
No, I didn't. I did not. Okay, so Ryan Flournoy goes. We're going to be one pick away here.
Ryan Flournoy is an interesting handcuff wide receiver.
I love Flournoy. I just feel like it's one of those players that you're going to end up cutting in waiver wire unless you have an injury early.
Oh, that's exactly who he is. But if George Pickens goes down, he's awesome.
Jalen McMillan is banged up right now, but I don't know. He's interesting to me. Kalen Black goes.
McMillan, dude. I loved him coming out. I'm like, he's way better than Jalen Polk. And then people said, stay in your lane, fantasy boy. And Jalen Polk just retired. So Shout out to me.
Okay, so I think
we know being a Baker wide receiver is awesome. You know, he was.
Do you want to go Jalen McMillan and just take the injury chance here, or do you want to go with our quarterback lane?
Let's take the quarterback.
Let's take Malik Willis, who Scott Barrett has advocated you draft for months, except we took him in our Dynasty startup and you hated it. And you said Quinn Ewers is going to win in camp, but now that the rubbers meet the road.
That's redraft versus Dynasty. Yeah, like in a redraft, if that comes to fruition, you could just drop him. If that happens in a Dynasty, you just sunk a lot of draft capital in a backup. Did we draft Quinn Ewers? We should have drafted both of them at least.
We'll pick him up on the first waiver wire run.
Oh, I forgot. These are shallow leagues. All the Dynasty leagues I play are like 30-man rosters. Besides FFPC.
Okay, so we have 3 picks. We have 4 picks left, and 2
Can
of them have.
I run to the bathroom and let you go solo?
Yeah. Let's go solo. Now I'm carrying the School of Scott podcast, just like I did for years. Now with Scott's going to the bathroom. Okay, Zachariah Branch, for our podcast listeners, Branch goes off the board. Omar Cooper, Malik Washington starting to go. I saw Malik Washington go in like the 13th round in another draft recently. People are sort of betting on him. But we need to get a kicker, and we're wide open everywhere else because we have the Denver Broncos defense. And we are probably planning on drafting Ollie Gordon with one of our picks. In the queue now, I have Kamani Vidal, Mike Washington, Ollie Gordon. I'm going to remove 2 of Scott's guys from the queue while he's getting a drink, so we don't have to consider them. But I think we're sort of in on those guys. I think elite kicker would not be bad. Cam Dicker is still on the board. Jason Myers still on the board. And then Cam Little, the kicker we like, still on the board. They're all in play here. But I think Ollie Gordon, combining him with Devon Achane, is probably the move because we're pretty fragile at running back here in terms of like the overall numbers. I just talked it through. Scott, while you're out there. I said I was going to remove a couple of your guys from the queue while you were
Was that right?
Getting a drink. And
we can take this quarterback out of the queue.
Yeah, take him out. But I was explaining to the School of Scott listeners sort of my thought process on these next few picks. I think a run out where we get Kamani Vidal or Mike Washington with Ollie Gordon and then one of our kickers would be ideal. So I think we push.
I think Pat Fryermuth would be ideal personally.
If you really want to take Muth in the 17th round, we could. That's fine. Let's take him in the 17th. He'll be there. All right. Awesome. Nobody else wants him.
Yeah.
Seth McGowan goes there at the 1701. I think people are betting on him a little bit in that Jonathan Taylor handcuff role.
Shout out Dave McGowan.
What else do we have here? I was telling the School of Scott audience that Malik Washington is starting to move up a little bit. I was in the draft with Jacob, and Malik Washington went in like the 12th round. People are really chasing that Miami wide receiver 1 there.
Oh, I like that. Yeah, Malik Washington's a sick pick. I'm actually a big Malik Washington guy.
I like him.
You want to take him in round 17? Is he still here?
He's gone. He was gone a few picks ago in the 16th round. I've taken him in the 17th round in like every single underdog Best Ball Mania.
I got to put him in my draft guide. There's a section for like late last round dart throws. He's a good one.
Yeah, I mean, if you're betting on a Miami wide receiver, I think he's an interesting one. Mike Washington goes. Jalen McMillan goes. Our queue is getting decimated. It's a sharp room here. Really sharp room. That is our friend Abibag Batoba takes Zachariah Branch and McMillan.
July 4th weekend on a Saturday, 10 p.m.
Yeah, but that's when you invite Scott to draft early. He goes, no, I got to wait for my article to get done. I need my article to get done.
No way.
Deep in it. And Ryan Heath, I saw, dropped his article today.
Yeah, that's right. He draft guide mogged me. That's what he said.
Is the FSWA going to give Ryan Heath the award this year? Or are they going to be like some guy, some random guy writes
out themselves as a total sham if they don't give it to Ryan Heath, the greatest fantasy football writer in the game right now.
Ryan Heath deserves it. His articles have been fire.
He's the GOAT. We only have the creme de la creme at fantasy points. Who do you have at RotoWire?
Listen, I just hired Tyler Knabel, who's going to be an absolute
PPR
super,
Tyler?
PPR Tyler.
I follow him on Twitter.
Thank you, Scott. That you recognize that he's a rising star. Tyler Knabel is going to crush it, though. Make sure you guys check him out. I worked with Tyler years and years ago. It's like my first like Theo Greminger like flag plant. Like we got to get this guy, and they listened, and everybody's happy about PPR Tyler. Tyler Knabel is awesome. He's already ripping off like all these best ball streams. Okay, so we're back OTC here. I think it's Kamani Vidal, or if you want to go Muth and push him around, I think Muth is more likely to be there in round 18 than Kamani Vidal.
Let's go Muth. He wants to be on this team. You know, fate tried to intervene, and now, you know, because he went crying to the commissioner, we ended up getting a 4-round value on him, 5-round.
And it makes doing waivers week 1 even easier because you'll just cut Muth and go sign somebody viable. Whereas Kamani Vidal, we'd say we don't want to cut him because look, if something happens to Omarion Hampton, we want to have that cuff. So yeah, it makes things easier on the waiver wire. We'll take Muth. No, Muth is fine. Muth is fine.
Dude, he's going to put up like the same points as Brenton Strange. He's going to be like 0.6 fantasy points per game behind Strange in this format.
You see Jake Tonjes goes off the board before Pat Freiermuth in the 17th round. You get the free look with Tonjes, and I think people are betting that George Kittle skips the Australia game.
Yeah. I mean, Jeff Mueller kind of thinks that's in play.
I mean, why would you make him take that flight? It's a brutal run out to go to Australia for week 1. Yeah. It's brutal for San Francisco. They're all like 30 plus, and they all have to go to Australia.
But Kittle's a freak of nature, man. There were quotes from Kyle Shanahan from like 5 years ago where he was like, is George Kittle going to play this week? Yeah, if it were anyone else, he'd be on IR for the next 6 weeks, but it's Kittle, so yeah, he's probably going to play this week. Like talk about him just like an absolute freak of nature. He's always hurt, but he's also always playing through injury and always coming back from injuries before anyone expects. We're also living in the peptide era. Are you on BPC 157, Theo?
No, but my good buddy is, and he's a runner, and he's like an absolute beast. I know a bunch of people who are on it. I think it's a miracle drug for sure. If I ever got banged up, I would be on it like the next day.
I've tried it. It's all right.
You tried BPC. What made it only all right?
I don't know. I didn't really notice any difference from it, but it was recommended to me because I have Crohn's disease, and I didn't notice any real benefit from it. It helped Brett heal from I don't know, it was like a torn tendon or something.
Maybe you had a bad source of peptides. Maybe you had a bad peptide source.
Yeah, definitely could be.
I feel like in the Austin area, there's probably some like peptide game is huge. I know it's big on Long
Ways to Well is big out here. There's some other stuff like that.
Okay, so we're a few picks away here. We need to get a kicker. We have 3 picks left. I don't think there's like the Cam Little goes off the board. There's no kicker to like push up.
Harrison Mavis.
You get the the free look.
Those are guys.
I think we lean in and we take Kamani Vidal. I think Vidal is I mean, come on, what happens if Hampton goes down here? Okay, so we've got our next pick coming up. It's going to be, I think it's Kamani Vidal or it's Ollie Gordon. And I think I like our team now, and I think we like our team enough that we could just lock down the cuff, and we're committed to the Miami running back. If Achane missed 2 weeks, Gordon would be in the lineup every single week. I mean, Kamani Vidal's a higher upside pick, though, if you want to lean into that. So it's structure versus upside, which is the wrong move.
Yeah. All right, let's teach him a lesson, Theo.
Let's take Kamani Vidal, because I think Gordon's going to come back around to us.
All right, we'll do that.
So let's take Kamani Vidal. I talked about this with Jacob Gibbs. Gibbs and I had this run out where we started our draft with Ashton Genty and Omarion Hampton. We ended up with Jalen Waddle and Tyler Warren. We had like Christian Watson, Sam Laporta. Then we went Jaden Daniels, Rashad White. It was like running pure. We kept pushing running back. And then we got to a later round, and I wanted Denzel Boston and a running back. He wanted Omar Cooper and a running back. and it was like Mike Washington and Kamani Vidal just sitting there, get our handcuffs, be really fragile, and we passed on both of them, and then we got sniped on both of them. So Jacob was tilting, but it was tilting in a good way. It was late tilting. Never want to tilt early, Scott. You want to tilt late.
What's your best draft so far, Theo?
You know, I've picked. It's hard to say. I think that they're all like right in the wheelhouse, but they've been difficult leagues. But for me, Scott, it's like you've got to get to either the 1 seed or the 2 seed, or you've got to win that playoff. And I think we're in contention with this one. My last team, I think, ended up pretty good too. And then I have a team with Dan Williamson where we had it was an early main event, and we have a couple of really, really strong values there. We've like Stephon Diggs in the 12th on that one. So I don't know. I think all my teams are pretty good, but I'm hoping that I end up with some early draft exposure, or I'll even take like the 1-2 turn. I think 1-2 turn is really fun in a main event. I'd kind of rather be early or late than have these like 06, 07, 08 type picks, because it's just, I feel like you get sniped. But structurally, we're fine here. If we get enough production out of Strange and Goddard, I think we're going to be all right.
Yeah. I don't mind it. Like I said, I think we outdrafted everyone given the hand that we were dealt, because of course we did, but it did not rock continually getting sniped. I'll say that.
Yeah, I mean, it was the Laporta and it was the Montgomery
just
one.
Sucks in general too.
8 spot's tricky. It's super tricky. I've had 2 of these now, so let's
run pure after this. Let's get the 101 next time around.
I'll take the 101. I'll take the 102. I'll take the 103. You're locked in on Puka Nacua over Jamar Chase.
102, 105 in the order I'd prefer.
I think that being in the 12 hole is also kind of fun this year. I think double tapping, you have like a ton of flexibility when you're at the turn, where you can kind of influence the board. And I think that the 3-4 turn is actually pretty fun right now too.
Yeah. According to the commissioner, sorry about the wonkiness there, folks. I was dealing with a crisis myself at home, but it's all good and we're good. All right. Well, shout out to the commissioner.
I'm glad that the commission's all right after the wonkiness at home.
Crisis.
Sorry, family. Sorry, family.
Sorry, Scott.
Sorry, family.
That's
I can't help you with it.
Maybe he knows he's on stream and he's a School of Scott listener. He's just trying to make this more entertaining for us.
No, because you guys didn't want to go live on this one, so I don't think anybody knows this is getting streamed. But
right.
Well, here we go.
Well, they know we only stream our shows. When have we ever done a team without a stream?
I know. This is like heavily edited. We'll see though. We'll see how this turns out. Okay, so we need to get a kicker, and then I think it's Ollie Gordon. I think that's how the run out is. Unless you have some late Exodia value you want to advocate for.
I do, and his name is Eric All.
Oh my God. Debro was a huge Eric All guy.
Dude, he was awesome. So yardage market share is like great at finding hidden gems. Colston Loveland was like that. Sam Laporta was like that. Eric All. A dude just can't stay healthy. But hey, we saw Mike Gesicki kind of rock for a bit with the Bengals, right? So maybe he could be a thing. Keenan Allen, is there a landing spot that excites you with Keenan Allen? Probably not.
I think Keenan Allen, if anything, it's probably going to be Indianapolis, and it's going to really hurt Josh Downs. So I'm hoping that I think that Keenan Allen, if he's, and I know he's smart, I'm saying like if I'm his agent, I'm sort of having him sit back in the weeds and hoping that if there was like an injury, Keenan Allen landing somewhere like in a really strong role would be there. That's sort of how I would play it.
Ted Hurst. I feel like you're a Ted Hurst guy, man.
I like Ted Hurst. I think Ted Hurst would benefit from the Jalen McMillan run out. I think what we probably should do,
Zachariah Branch, is he like
Branch went?
Like
Abib took him. Abib took him in the 16th. I think it's.
Oh, James Conner. Please tell me Conner's still.
Oh, come on, James Conner. You want to take James Conner? Yeah. Let's take. I think it's Ollie Gordon, unless you want to go free look with Colby Parkinson. I think it's Ollie Gordon.
Yeah, we could take out Ollie.
Yeah, let's go Ollie Gordon.
And that way, if Devon Achane gets hurt, our team just sucks. But we have
our team will be 8th instead of 12th.
Totally dead.
Yeah,
exactly.
It'll be good enough that we'll have to like really compete at waivers every week, and not bad enough that we're just like forget it. We're not even setting a lineup. No, our team will be fine. Our team is going to be fine. Eric All in our queue. We would be the first team to select Eric All in this whole.
Well, that gives us a leg up. Like, what if he's the league-winning tight end? He's like Puka Nakua 3 years ago.
Let's take Ollie
Gordon. We're
Gordon.
the only team that didn't have to spend fab on him.
Miami, Ollie Gordon. You are now on our team. And then we're a kicker away from this team being over.
Who's the Exodia kicker? We're all dying to know, Theo.
It's Bates for sure, but he's probably going to go. It was Bates last year. It's Bates this year.
Hell yeah.
And if he's gone, Tyler Loop is kind of whatever to me. I think
Trey
we go with
Smack. Just guys with interesting names.
Trey Smack. Last name is Smack. Guys doing some smack.
We got to take him. Come on. Packers score points.
No way. I think we've got to go with
fourth down a lot.
I think we've got to go with I like Chase McLaughlin, I like Evan McPherson, those kind of guys. Yeah. Trey Smack. What a run out to have the last name Smack.
I hope he's the Exodia kicker this year. That would
Trey Camberling in the chat advocating for Eric All, league winner. I mean, I'm ready for a new tight end in Cincy. Jasecki also was good when T. Higgins got injured, so I hope that we don't have a tight end run out because we have T. Higgins.
No. Yeah. So that's your T. Higgins handcuff.
I mean, you're all excited about T. Higgins in every article, and you're not like that excited about having him on this team, I feel like.
Bro, Eric All went to Michigan and Iowa.
I know.
Hard to do better than that for a tight end.
Not bad. Not bad. Trey Camberling wants it on the record. He does not like Eric All. All right. So kicker-wise, I don't really care. I think it's Jake Bates clearly if he gets to us.
Let's take Boston Scott.
We have to take a kicker here. We're going to take Chase McLaughlin if Jake Bates is selected here. And this team's going to take because I like
bye week.
I like Tampa Bay's. I like Tampa Bay, the offense. I think they're gonna score some points this year. Are you off of, or we go Evan McPherson if you want Cincinnati?
It doesn't matter, Theo. It's a kicker.
Kicker points matter. They matter. Think about how many times you've lost an FFPC game by
Jake Bates.
Okay, Jake Bates. We get sniped again. That's the theme of the draft.
Why doesn't FFPC just drop kickers? Why aren't we there? It's 2026.
Because kickers and defenses are an edge. It's another challenge to the game.
All right. How about instead of taking Evan McPherson, you lobby the commissioner to abandon kickers in the FFPC format?
We will try our best. But for this draft, it's going to be Chase McLaughlin or Evan McPherson. We're going to let Trey Camberling in the chat make this pick.
That's our producer behind the scenes. Who we got? Drum roll.
McLaughlin. Okay, there we go. We're going Chase McLaughlin.
I'm going to put Boston Scott in the queue, though, just in case.
So that's our team here. Our team is in the books. We have a full squad. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Devon Achane, Zay Flowers. Actually, Scott, you've got to read it out because I am the guest now.
That's right. We have Amon-Ra St. Brown, Devon Achane, Zay Flowers, T. Higgins, TreVeyon Henderson, Parker Washington, Dallas Goedert, Jaden Daniels, Jordan Mason, Casey Concepcion, Brenton Strange, Terrence Ferguson, Isaiah Pacheco, Damon Claiborne, Denver defense, Malik Willis, Pat Freiermuth, Kamani Vidal, Ollie Gordon, and the steal of the draft, Chase McLaughlin.
All right, so this is how we win $1 million. Amon-Ra St. Brown has his first ever wide receiver 1 overall season. He's been a top 5 wide receiver multiple times. Last year, a career high in targets, and just goes absolutely bonkers. Can he win the Triple Crown, Scott? Can he go targets, catches?
He could do it.
Yeah, he could go. So let's say Triple Crown. He goes full on Jamar Chase 2024, Amon-Ra St. Brown to the moon. And because Sam Laporta and Jamison Williams are not on this team, they both miss significant time, and Amon-Ra St. Brown just gets peppered. We've got Devon Achane, silences the haters, averages more points per game than last year, averages 21 points per game, catches 90 passes, leads Miami in receptions this year by a huge margin. Zay Flowers is this year's version of JSN. Zay Flowers finishes the year as like the wide receiver 4 overall, sets the record for the most receptions by a Baltimore Raven ever. T. Higgins leads the NFL in touchdown. Well, he's number 2 in the NFL in touchdown catches behind Amon-Ra St. Brown. Goes nuts this year.
Jamar Chase gets hurt.
Yeah, or just Higgins gets all the touchdowns. I don't wish that one. We don't want to wish that one on Abib. Abib, you can finish second in this league. Okay, TreVeyon Henderson. Scott is just every week just capitulates and capitulates and capitulates. TreVeyon Henderson finishes as like the running back 10 overall. Goes nuts this year. Ramondre Stevenson gets banged up. TreVeyon Henderson averages 17 points per game. Scott every week just is capitulating and capitulating and capitulating. TreVeyon Henderson to the moon. Parker Washington leads the Jacksonville Jaguars in receptions. Ends up finishing probably similarly to he was at the end of last year. Let's give Parker Washington 16 points per game. Scott is excited all year long that one of his. I mean, have you revealed any Exodias? Well, let's say a wide receiver.
We revealed Parker Washington together on the NFL draft.
We did. Okay, so Parker Washington, the Exodia.
He's gained like 2 rounds in ADP, and he's still just.
He'll be in the 5th round by Vegas too, so we get a little delta there.
Nice.
Dallas Goedert benefits from Devontae Smith being unable to fill in as a wide receiver 1, and Mekhi Lemon being banged up all year. Dallas Goedert has a 24% target share, sets career highs, and gets double-digit touchdown catches for the 2nd consecutive year, finishes as a top 5 tight end. Jaden Daniels finishes as the QB1 overall, leads all quarterbacks in rushing yardage, and it's sort of like just resets the game. Scott Barrett has to move him up to QB1 overall in the dynasty rankings over at Fantasy Points just because of how dominant he is. Jordan Mason finishes as a top 15 scorer at the running back position, has like a random 12 touchdown season with 1,000 rushing yards. Aaron Jones falls apart. Casey Concepcion is this year's version of rookie year Garrett Wilson. I think that was a Jacob Sanderson one.
That's a good take.
Yeah, I think that was a Jacobs, but I heard JJ mention it, and he credited Jacob. So credit to you, Jacob, on that one. KC becomes a second half of the year smash play. We struggle every week, Scott, as to who do we put in the flex because our team is so good. Brenton Strange is the number 2 target on Jacksonville. Brenton Strange scores more fantasy points in FFPC than Brian Thomas Jr. or Jacoby Myers, and he actually outscores both Jacksonville running backs for this build. Terrence Ferguson benefits from a wide receiver injury in LA, and Ferguson ends up being completely viable, ends up being like the tight end 12 this year. I'm not even going to do the Jahmyr Gibbs.
Aim higher, Theo.
Okay, let's say
Terrence
tight end.
Ferguson, Devontae Adams goes down. Terrence Ferguson is the clear number 2, who we all wanted Tyler Higbee to be in a Sean McVay offense, PPR cheat code, tight end premium, super cheat code.
Tight end 7 overall. I'm not going to do the Pacheco one because my Jahmyr Gibbs bags are packed.
We don't need that.
Yeah, we don't need that one.
Damon Claiborne?
Well, Claiborne, let's say that Jordan Mason.
He's Minnesota's Jahmyr Gibbs. Aaron Jones called it. Unfortunately, he's out of a job. But Minnesota Jahmyr Gibbs and Damon Claiborne. We'll say
Jordan Mason misses 2 weeks, and Damon Claiborne averages 18 points per game in those 2 weeks, goes absolutely bonkers. Long touchdown after long touchdown. The haters are in shambles. Brett Whitefield is in shambles because he's a Damon Claiborne fader. And then, how about the rest of our team? Denver defense sets an NFL record for the most sacks in the history of the league. They're the number 1 defense by a clear margin. In week 7, when Jaden Daniels is on a bye, Malik Willis is the QB1 overall on the week. Goes absolutely nuts. Rushes for 155 yards and 3 touchdowns in that one.
Wow.
Freiermuth gets cut week 1, but we end up using that roster spot to sign the waiver wire ad of the year. Kamani Vidal, Omarion Hampton misses 8 games, and Vidal scores like he did last year. Ollie Gordon, we just keep him on the team for vibes because Achane's going nuts. And Chase McLaughlin is kicker 101, ends up outscoring Brandon Aubrey, and we just set it and forget it with him. That's how we win $1 million, guys.
Yeah, but is it worth it to win $1 million if we had to cut our mascot, Pat Freiermuth? We liked him. We liked him so much we drafted him twice.
It's great to have one guy on the roster that you can cut and add someone in waivers. So yeah, okay. we right. Thank you for your service, Pat Freiermuth. So there we go.
Well, how does it feel to be a millionaire, Theo?
It feels fantastic.
All jokes aside, really have so much love in my heart for Theo. He's a great personal friend. Him and the Ringer Fantasy Show are the only non-fantasy point show I tune in, and everyone should support Theo's work always and forever. And like Theo said, I'll be on the RotoWire YouTube multiple times, so make sure you subscribe so you can catch me out there, and then unsubscribe after that. No, just kidding.
Stay subscribed, guys.
Stay subscribed. We love Theo. Theo is once you're a giant, always a giant. Once you're fantasy points, always fantasy points.
Appreciate it. That was fun. And look for Scott and I to also split a team over at my channel. And I'll be back with you and Rich here because we have Rich Rebar. That's a fantasy points one. Unless you want to give that over. Right. You want to give that to RotoWire. I'll take it. But if you want to give it to RotoWire, but you can keep it here at Fantasy Points. Love coming over here.